what we do here is go back.
And hopefully we are live. Hello. Good evening, it's Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. Hopefully you can hear me and see me. Please, if you wouldn't mind, please let me know in the comment section, just so that I know that I'm not talking to myself before I go on some long rant. We will see. Yes, looks like we're good. Rick got a thumbs up. Welly Bob, all good, in sync and that, awesome. Fantastico. Excellent. So, welcome. It is Saturday, the 28th of February, 2026, or possibly the 1st of March if you're in Australia, or wildly different time zones. So, yeah. Happy March. And today, actually, I think, I'm not entirely sure, because I don't really leave the house at all, or even venture outside into the garden these days, because of the weather being horrendous. But today I actually went out into the garden for probably a good hour and a half or so and actually cut the grass. Unbelievable. Before March. Only a smidgen before March, let's be fair. But yes, before March. And also I should apologise in advance. I've got some sort of laryngeal thing going on at the moment. Feeling a bit sort of like congested and stuff. I swear I had a cold, but it didn't really come to a cold, so now I've just got this like sore throat, sinuses, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, if I'm snuffling or basically my pronunciation is worse than usual, my apologies, but hey, it is what it is. Just another health problem. I've seemed to have overcome some of my previous ones, or at least overcoming them. Yes, I'm going through the healing process, it would seem. So anyway, good evening and welcome, and hopefully you're all having a fantastic time. I'm actually really drying up here as well. We had, obviously, being that we are living in the United Kingdom, one of the richest countries on the planet, today we actually had to have toast and Marmite for tea, because that was all we had left to eat. That sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? But I do kind of like it. But unfortunately, Marmite, being a yeast extract, is basically salty as all hell. So in hindsight, it probably wasn't the greatest idea to have that before doing a stream. So my mouth just feels very, very dry now. So I'm going to have to keep on having some fluids. Oh, Bob says it's the man flu, Mike. I don't think it, well, at the beginning of the week, I was really kind of mucousy and snotty, and it was like my nose was running like a train. But I didn't feel particularly unwell. It was just like, oh, this is a pain. And that lasted for about 2 or 3 days. Then it stopped. Now I just got like, I had a real sore throat, still a little bit sore now. And like, it just feels like it's an upper respiratory thing. I feel a bit of kind of pressure in my head. Anyway, whatever. We'll get on with it. It's all good. Skystalker asked what Marmite is. Marmite is, yeah, it's a yeast extract. It's basically like a black tar, which you spread onto things such as, here in the UK, it's quite well known for people to make toast, which is bread, which has been burnt in an electrical device, and then covered with loads of butter, and then you put some Marmite on the top. So it's kind of like a beef extract type tasting thing, like Bovril or
Like
Vegemite is very similar in Australia. Vegemite is a much kind of milder version. Marmite is a lot more kind of,
it's tarry, and whereas
yeah,
Vegemite is
tart.
spreadable.
Yeah.
I don't mind Vegemite, but George didn't like it.
Or Bob says, when a man is feeling slightly unwell, it's man flu. Fair dues. Viali says, might get... We've got some echinacea, actually.
But you don't want to suppress your symptoms a bit.
Yeah, I just want to get it. It's now I've got the symptoms for it. I might as well just like plow through it and get it on. Get on with it. It's fine. David Underhill says Vegemite. Sorry, Marmite is fake Vegemite for pommes.
I wonder which came first.
What? Brits or Australians?
Vegemite or Marmite?
Yeah, which came first, Vegemite or Marmite? Let's find out. I don't know. So, good evening to... Greg M says Neti Pot time, according to some people. Yeah, we have got a Neti Pot, actually. I might do that, actually. That's quite soothing.
We get the salt pipe.
Yeah, got a salt pipe. Actually, don't want more salt. Can I... Sorry, could I trouble you to get me a drink? Like ice or something? Icy. Get yourself one while you're there. Oh, dear. I've upset her now. Marmite is the best, says Viali. Hot cup of Marmite. Yeah, that'll go down well. Marmite, I had my first taste at over 65 years old, says old Bob. Riley, Marmite, run away! I quite like Marmite. I do quite like kind of beefy. Bovril used to be quite nice. Bovril was like a slightly more tamed version of Marmite. And it's basically like a beef flavour. So you could get a spoon of Bovril into some hot water, stir it in, and it's like a beef warming drink. Thank you very much. Yeah, go on then. Let's do the super stickers. We had Mark Gaines, who's been a member now for 11 months. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Much appreciated, Mark. Says, hello, Mike, Kath, and everyone in the chat. And there was another one there from JDS. JDS has been a member for 23 months. Thank you, JDS. And it says, hello, everyone. Thank you so much. I think that was it for the super stickers. Stickers, as we say in Bristol. No one actually calls it Bristol, by the way.
Apart from people that don't come from Bristol.
People who call Bristol don't live in Bristol or don't come from Bristol. They're basically trying to sell you a t-shirt or some merchandise. They're not real Bristolians like me and Kath. We're the real deal. Charles Brown says, sounds like you're saying bog roll. Oh yeah, bog roll, bovril. Yeah, they're very similar. Bog roll's probably got a little bit more texture.
Marmite was first, apparently.
Marmite and Vegemite are made from yeast.
Why would they want
after brewing beer.
yeast?
Salt was added to kill the yeast before blending with binders. Used in small amounts, not by the spoonful. Marmite was first. Yay! Get in there. AF67LJ Sue. That's a long one. Good to see Mike and Co. How you doing? Marmite was 1902 and Vegemite was 1923.
Marmite's just got that kind of
Was Australia a thing in 1923? When did Australia start?
When we were told it started, obviously.
When did America start?
When they were told it started.
America's not that old, is it? I'm trying to think.
It just appeared.
Someone's going to have to let me know.
Invented it.
How old is the United States of America? I have no idea. I should know this, but I don't know it. 1778. 1776, says Greg. Paul Lamont says 10. Yeah. So, what's that? Yeah, it's not very old at all, is it? David says the 1st of January 1901 was Federation.
But Marmite's just got that old-fashioned looking jar, hasn't it? So I thought it was old.
250 years old, says Charles. 1776. I thought it was around about that sort of 250 to 300 years. I wasn't exactly sure, but yeah, I thought it was around about that.
What was there before that?
Americans. Well, Native Americans.
So it wasn't invented, it wasn't around, it was still around before 200
It was,
years,
yeah,
wasn't
it was there. There was a
Nobody owned
blob
it.
of land called
Whatever.
America, but there were other people living there who were basically native.
So it had a government from that time.
Well, no, they probably didn't have a government. They had tribes, didn't they? So there would have been tribal leaders and elders and what have you. So there,
250 years ago.
there'd have been those individual. Yes, like any sort of community, isn't it? This has turned into a history lesson.
Historic.
To be fair, we have got the channel listed as being an education channel, which is laughable at best. I like to think we do educate you. Let me know in the chat, actually, do you think this channel actually does educate you? Now, don't be sarcastic, but do you find that some of the videos, or the majority of the videos, are actually quite informative and slightly educational?
You don't learn if cases are cheese graters anywhere else.
Yeah. How else would you know if a computer case is the equivalent of an expensive cheese grater? That's the sort of information you can't get from a college. You'd have to come to a location or a channel such as this one to learn the facts of cheese grating PC technology.
It's more educational than AI.
Thank you, Alpha Dingo. Good one. Welly Bobs, I've got a new C5 LG OLED. Bit brighter than my LG C2 OLED. I would really like an OLED screen, but I'm terrified because my computer spends a lot of time kind of static images, especially like editing and things like that, or researching. So yeah, I'm a bit scared, and they're quite expensive still. Phil Stodd says the I can't even say politically, let alone the correct part. The politically correct phrase is indigenous people. Thank you. What is the politically incorrect word or words? Let me know, because I probably will say them without knowing.
You did say them, that's why you said it.
Oh, what? What did I say? Indians?
No.
Native Americans?
Tribes.
Tribes? Which one of those three words is bad? I thought they were all okay. When I was in school, that's the words they taught me. I don't know. I'm old. I'm not quite as old as America, but feels like I'm getting there. Maybe I did use the wrong words. If I ever use the wrong words, 100% it's not done in any form of malice. It's just lack of education. It really is. I'll be honest with you. I'm not that sort of person. I wouldn't say a slur on someone's ethnicity or religious background or anything, because I'm not that sort of person. But I do possibly lack modern education on what the modern terminology would be. So my apologies if I ever do say anything incorrectly. Senrab says, I learned about the USA from John Wayne films. I learned about the USA from John Wick films. Seems like a kind of cool place. Just don't go around injuring other people's dogs. Old Bob says, hole, shovel, dig deeper. Hey, what can I say? I don't know. Elite Mick 290. Hi, Mike. How you doing? Who are you saying hello to?
Candy.
Oh, Candy. Hello, Candy. Don't scratch my damn chair.
Coming to say hello, but don't touch the wires this week.
Elite Mick says, bro, that keyboard RGB behind want to explode. Should I tilt it up so you can see it better?
Not to go near the wires.
Or do you not want to see it? I could set it to a static colour if you want. Cincinnati had to change the team name because the name was politically incorrect. That doesn't help me because I don't know what Cincinnati's team was. That hockey or football? For Indigo. Native Americans, also called Indians, Indian Americans, First Americans, or Indigenous Americans, are the indigenous peoples of the United States, particularly the lower 48 states and Alaska. Thank you. Oh, Redskins. Right. Oh, yeah, I think I understand where you're coming from with that. Yeah. Sometimes I think it's a strange world we live in, where terms which have been kind of socially acceptable or kind of recognised for a very long time get changed because of pressure. And sometimes it's not even the pressure from the people that it's referring to. It's kind of other people that think that other people are offended by it when they probably aren't. We see that a lot, actually, a lot in the UK, where there are a lot of activists who are being activists for other ethnicities or whatever. It's like, well, what's it got to do with you? Let them speak. If they've got a problem, let them make it aware. I don't know. Strange world, anyway.
Put the idea in people's heads a lot of the time.
AF6LJ Sue says we don't do PC here. Ironically, for a PC tech channel, we don't do PC very well. Again, it is not anything malicious or nasty or anything like that, so please do not take it as that in any way, shape or form. And if I don't know a term and I say it incorrectly again, I apologise. I'm not being malicious, it's just what I've learned, what I've known, what I've read, what I've heard, what I've seen on the internet. It happens. Free speech all the way! Yay! Well, YouTube isn't well known for free speech, is it? But, yeah. Hello to J Rich, how you doing? Viali said, this is a political hot potato. Hopefully the people of Iran will be free from the nutters in charge. Yes, this that's all kicking off, isn't it? Or at least it appears to be. I'll be honest with you, I try to ignore a lot of the mainstream and even the media in general for news, because there's so many sites and so many places. I remember when I was younger, probably in, I guess it would have been watching stuff from the 70s and the 80s and possibly even into the early 90s, where you'd watch news and it would be like just a newsreader, completely unbiased, just reading out the facts of the day. Whereas I think due to the kind of the opinion politics, I guess, that we've inherited from America, I think that is quite fair to say, because American media is very kind of one way or the other leaning, whether it be left or right or whatever. I think we've inherited that, so a lot of news channels these days tend to be more biased one direction or the other. There's very few media outlets these days which are kind of just straight shooters down the middle. They all seem to spin it a little bit one way or the other, which is up to them. They're getting paid to do it, so if it works for them, let them do it. But yeah, it used to be like, if, say for instance, like there was something which happened in our local news here in Bristol, there'll be Bruce Hockin. I remember him on HTV News, and he'd just come on, he'd just read it out, and he'd be like, oh, and there was such and such, there was a shop that was robbed today, if they took such and such, if you have any information regarding this. Whereas now they'd have to go into the details of like who the person was, their ethnicity, their backgrounds, whether they were some orientation or other. It's like, does any of that stuff matter? Does it really? No, it doesn't. Let's just have the facts. Just the facts, man. Anyway, that's enough of that. Welly Bob says nearly all news items are sensational and overhyped and forced upon us to achieve a hidden goal from the overlords. I think you're probably onto something there. I think most things now have an agenda or a direction at the very least.
Brainwashing.
Yeah.
Making you think, but the majority think what they want you to think.
Yeah. David Thompson says, remember when the news at 10 ended with a light-hearted story? Yes, I think I remember that actually. Yeah. J Rich says, please click the like button. It's free and helps the channel. Good segue to our next video sponsor. Well, it's not really a sponsor, but if you lovely people out there are making purchases, buying things, not computer parts, because obviously, yeah, we all know what's going on there, but if you are considering spending some of your hard-earned cash on some video games for either your PC, your Xbox, your PlayStation, your Nintendos, etc., other consoles are available, then we do actually have a affiliate link now for loaded.com, which can supply games at what appears to be flipping awesome prices. So if you want to make a purchase and you want to help out the channel, there is now an affiliate link with loaded.com. And I should also say as well, big shout out to Shaky in the chat on Discord, who mentioned it a while back. We were actually affiliates of the previous site, I think, but we never really did much with it. But loaded.com seems, from what I can tell, to have some pretty legit offers and some really good games on there as well, and a very wide spectrum of them.
You get fanatical too.
I always thought that potentially it might be like a little bit of a kind of a headbutt between Premium CD Keys and Loaded, but Loaded don't do Windows stuff like software. They're just games focused, so it's great for us that we can recommend someone really good for Windows license keys, obviously Premium CD Keys, and also we can recommend someone for games and other kind of entertainment titles for various things like consoles and obviously desktop PCs. So I will hopefully put the link in the chat now. It should appear very shortly. There we go. Great deals on PC, PlayStation, Xbox and Nintendo games with Loaded. HTTP loaded dot blah 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 blah, etc. If you click on that, you can get some really good deals, and also we get a small kickback. So if you're going to buy some stuff anyway, then you don't get any pictures of any naked chicks with it. That Loaded here in the UK, well, I think it used to be elsewhere as well, but there used to be a magazine, a lads mag they used to call them, not like full frontal nudity, but rather suggestive poses. So yeah, Loaded used to be one of those kind of lads mags here in the UK and possibly around Europe and other countries as well. So it's a little bit of a unfortunate name for them really, but hey ho, it makes sense because obviously you load games, so loaded.com. Makes absolute sense. And I think they probably wanted to, because they were known as CD Keys before, but I think because there are so many companies called something CD Keys, I think CD Keys or Loaded were kind of like one of the first ones on the scene. Then other companies come along and just tweak the name a little bit. So like scdkeys.com or stuff like, you know, they just change their names or make it sound very similar.
ACD keys, so they're getting them.
Yeah, ACD keys or AACD keys, so they get right to the top of the listings. Anyway, yeah, there we go.
ACDC keys.
Cool Cat says, talking of Shaky, I was a big fan of Shaky and Stevens when I was a kiddie winkle. My mum would laugh at my dancing around the lounge. Thanks for sharing.
Can you do a bit now, just in case we can see?
No, I refused.
No, not you.
Actually, saying that, Shaky hasn't been in the Discord recently. Last couple of days, I don't know why. Disappeared again. If anyone knows, let me know why. I must have missed something in the chat if something went pear-shaped. Right. Dave Aiken says, Loaded customer service has been great when I had an issue with 2 accounts being merged before, used them for years. Oh, excellent. So now you can use our affiliate links. I tried to say the word king in there somewhere. Don't know why.
Link.
These links are so fucking cheap.
So fucking.
That's a great name for a shop, isn't it?
We did have one in Singapore, didn't we?
I sometimes think I want to open up a shop selling chairs and sofas and call it Sofa King Cheap. That is just like gold. I love it.
Just need it. There was one in Staple Hill called Sofa King.
There was actually, yeah.
And you just need a big sticker on your window, don't you? Cheap.
Yeah.
See, I used to get the kids to read out. What's the name of that shop?
Off for Dinkle says, I have no subscriptions. I own everything. I will be happy. Good for you. Excellent stuff.
Yeah, I try and stay away from subscriptions.
Yeah, I don't like subscriptions really. Although, if you do want to subscribe to us and become a member,
it doesn't cost anything. And you own nothing.
Yeah,
you own everything.
you'll get very little out of it. Well, that's an interesting one. Semrab says, used to buy Xbox Game Passes from CD Keys. stroke loaded, much cheaper than Microsoft. So there you go. If you're looking at using Game Pass, every now and then I do wish I had Game Pass to test games when they come out, when I got graphics cards to test. Anyway. Right. First of all, things which are coming up in reviews, or things which I've bought this week. There's not been a lot, to be fair. And also as well, I should say, I don't know if he's in the chat at the moment, but massive shout out to Andy Archer. Those of you who remember, a couple of weeks back, we had that motherboard, the B650 Strix board, where only one of the RAM channels would work, and we looked at the pins, and Andy graciously offered to take a look at it, buff it out, yeah, with a bit of tea-cut, and yeah, so it took me a while, because I've not been very well recently, in cold and what have you, man flu, etc. So I packaged it up this week, and got it sent off to Andy, I think on Monday, actually, this week. God bless him, I think it must have arrived on kind of Wednesday or something, or Thursday, and literally, I think by the time, well, almost by the time that I got up and out of my bed, he'd already unboxed it, fixed it, and messaged me. So fantastic job. Thank you, Andy, for doing that. There was in fact 3 bent pins, but he has confirmed the pins have been straightened out. He's tried some various RAM sticks in there and various configurations, and it appears to be tickety-boo. So he is in the process of returning it. I think it's due Monday. I was kind of hoping it was going to come today so I could put it into the case we've got on tonight's stream, but that is it with our postal service. So yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, excellent stuff. Thank you very much.
Because they've gone stupid. It's like
oh, PayPal. What's that? Which one am I looking at? The very top one?
bottom one.
Oh, bottom one. Bottom order. Today, PayPal. Fred van der Meulen, thank you very much for your kind PayPal donation.
What's
much
wrong with my
appreciated.
emails now then?
I
Doing some
don't know.
updating and all, everything's gone out of there. Look. Downloading your messages. So I can't get the message, but you might be able to on your phone.
I don't even know where my phone is, to be honest.
You can't access my emails, can you?
No. Excellent. Thank you for that. Much appreciated.
Oh,
Where did I get to? My brain.
right,
Andy is a legend. He absolutely is.
where's my
Fantastic stuff. And also, massive shout out to... I'm not sure if I should say this or not, actually. I suppose it doesn't make any difference. Just to check in on my Discordia. Yeah, Dom, who comes on to our channel, Domus Mark. Some of you may have seen or heard of before. He's trying desperately to get around to building up his PC. He's decided to go with the AM5 PC, but he's taken ages to get all his bits together, and he's still waiting for a graphics card, a decent deal. So he's got the motherboard, and he said, Mike, would you like me to send it to you to do a little bit of a review on, and I don't know, do a boss tour or something like that? And yeah, he said he would send it to me and pay the return postage as well. So fantastic. I said yes, that'll be excellent. So we'll be taking a look at that. That's going to be a new B850 motherboard from Asus. So very excited to see that come through. That is awesome. Thank you, Fred. Aletta says, what do we think about some big PC companies kicking Microsoft to the curb? Will it make a difference? I don't know.
Some other company, won't it?
Yeah, the thing is, the tech industry, and like anything like politics, anything in general which has a lot of control over us, it's like Medusa. You kind of chop off one head and just another head grows back.
Which is usually worse.
And it, yeah,
Unbelievably.
and then you get a lot of the time, especially like for us in the UK, we had a pretty bad government. So we voted.
Always.
Yeah, we've always had a pretty bad government. So
Oh, not necessarily.
we got tired of that, so we voted in another government, and it's like, in hindsight, that was a really, really big mistake. We couldn't have made it much
Now
worse.
this government's just advertising for the next
yeah.
one.
It's lunacy.
We need to go for a new
Anyway, Viali's been a member for 23 months. Thank you, Viali. Wow, 2 years very soon. Yep, soon your anniversary. Nice picture of your PC in your thumbnail there. That looks very good. I like that. Yeah, also shout out to Lead Farmer. Helped out old Bob with a Wi-Fi problem on his Mobo. Actually, yeah, big Lead Farmer. I know there's a lot of you that do a lot of on the Discord helping out and what have you, and also answering questions on the YouTube videos. Like, that's awesome. Helps me out a lot. But yeah, on the Discord, Lead Farmer is awesome. I think it's very helpful as well that he's in a different time zone. So yeah, it just fills in the blanks where necessary. But yeah, Lead Farmer does a great job. Awesome stuff. Oh, Hydra. Thank you, Hydra. Heads grow back. Medusa had lots of snakes. Well, snakes, governments, I think I was probably right, to be honest. Remad says, sorry I'm late and I feel like shit. Oh, sorry to hear that. I'm not feeling too great myself, but we're men, we plough on regardless. Old Bob says he was very patient with this old fart. Nice. Matthew Day says, ages to build a PC. I wonder who else. Matthew Day is the king of procrastination. Now, on our Discord, we've got a really cool community. We really have. And there's some really interesting people. And they've got some very interesting traits. Now, Matthew Day is the king of procrastination and decision making, especially when it comes to PCs. I don't think I'd be lying if I was to say that he's probably got the best part of 3 to 5 PC builds on the go currently. And I think it's been that way for probably the last 20 years. Not the same 3 or 5 PCs. They probably have changed a little bit, but yeah, there's lots of idiosyncrasies. I think is that the right word? There's lots of things that his PCs need to do, and certain facilities and ports and things they need. So getting the right mix of those parts can be challenging.
Show how warm cats are when they fall asleep on your chocolate bar.
Little sidebar. If your cat falls asleep on your chocolate bar, especially a Bourneville, this is what can happen.
They are quite warm cats.
It is now like the surface of the moon.
That's still edible.
Or a heavily dimpled ass.
Have you been looking in the mirror again?
Yeah. Oh dear.
Sorry.
Anyway, Dave Aiken says Matthew Day will finish his brand new Core 2 Duo build from 2005 soon. I think he will. That's right, Paul. You're absolutely right. Yeah, Matthew Day says he's changing things before he finishes. I quite often get like that. It is the you get so many different permutations of what can happen that it actually just stops you moving forward, because you're trying to work out which is the best permutation of the available parts that you've got, or what is available and what makes sense and what can be cost effective. And you get literally bogged down by it and you don't do anything. And then you go like, oh God, I got all this stuff mounted up around me. How can I ever continue?
It's not technically a super sticker, but Rick H.
Rick's been a member now for 52 months.
That deserves the light on.
Wow, that is impressive. 52 months.
What do you think, Candy?
Jesus, that is
What do you think?
impressive.
Yeah.
That's funny, your candy has been cat scanned. It has. Rasher says, Lead Farmer is also a great helper on many other Discord and YouTube channels. He's a busy guy. He really is. Analysis paralysis. That's exactly the word I was looking for. Thank you, Matthew. Rasher's been a member for 53 months as well. And so is Skystalker. You're all in that crew. God bless you. God bless you all.
It's another.
Oh, and another one. Paul Lamont as well. 53 months. You guys. And there's a rally.
Another.
49 months. So we've got Rasher, Skystalker, Paul Lamont, Rally, and Welly Bob. Welly Bob's been in 53 months as well. Wow.
Madness.
53 months. That is what? 4 years and 5 months.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right, isn't it? 48 plus
4 years.
5. Yeah. I had to think then. We need an AI calculator to help make these calculations.
65 years.
Thank you so much, you crazy kids. David Hunter says, my latest PC was paid for with chocolate. That worked out well. Excellent stuff. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, idiosyncrasies. So yeah, Matthew Day, procrastination, analysis paralysis. Then you've got a rally. A rally, I don't think he'll mind me saying this, but it is a very much a rally thing. So any game, or his game of choice, June at the moment, building maps. Map building is a rally's thing. And he takes map building to another level. Really does. There's been a couple of games of the last few years that I can recall. I can't remember the names of the games, but yeah, very much into the minutia of the detail of these things. So that's a rallies thing. I'm trying to think who else I was thinking of that has similar kind of character traits. There's a few, especially those that are like they blip in every now and then with either the same question over and over, or a similar question, or kind of like they've taken, since the Discord's been going, like you can always trace them through the years where they've kind of bought one part, bought another part, bought another part, bought another part, bought another part, and yeah, they just pick up things along. There's various people. I'm not going to say any names. Dave Aitken's been 68 months on Patreon. Wow. Is it that long? 68 months? Jeez, I didn't know we'd even been going that long. Yeah, we'll have some likes for that. Riley says, say what you like. Fair enough. I already have. By the time you've written the comment, I've already said it, so it's fine. Yeah, there we go. Riley's come out now. He's got the list. Riley is our own personal AI.
He's got the list of what?
The list of games. So Star Trek Online, Conan Exiles, Dune Awakening, generally open world, survival, crafting, and yes, I design and use Excel spreadsheets. Mike, you can say anything you want. He won't be offended. Yeah. If you use Excel spreadsheets for your level design, that's taking things to a whole new level. That's commitment. Or needs committing. One of the two. I'm not entirely sure which. But I love it. It's great. Viali says you had hair back then, Mike. I don't think I did. Well, I might have had a little bit. Little wispy bits. Dave Aiken says, yeah, ChatGPT, Grok, Copilot all have similar traits to O'Reilly.
Has O'Reilly got all the memory?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he has. Sky says, happy to support what a great community you and Mike have built here, Kath. Bless you. That's very kind. You lovely people.
No, I think I've annoyed Candy. I didn't take any notice of her. I think she's
gone. Aletta's been using Excel to manage her billions in GTA Online. Wow. That's taking it to another level. I use Excel from my accounts, and that's kind of it, I think. Or maybe when I'm calculating PC sales, possibly sometimes, but that's rare. I normally just get a pen out, write it on my whiteboard, work out how much it's cost me and say, right, that's how much I want for a PC. I'm probably doing it wrong. Sky says, how long has Patreon been a thing there? Here. I remember talking to Mike about it in 2017. Yeah, it must be... Well, if Dave's done 68 months, that's 5 years and 8 months. So, yes, that would have been sort of 2019-ish, maybe? Wow. Yeah, I don't think we'd had it that long. I hate Patreon. The actual interface, the user interface for Patreon is hideous. I hate it.
It always has some pop-ups and stuff.
Oh my god, it's just the most unintuitive thing ever. Is it me? Is it my age? Or is it just the way things are? But websites are getting harder and harder to navigate, I think, personally.
Not so much navigate, but just all the extra clicks.
Well, even navigation, like, if I go onto Patreon to find out information about someone who's a patron, it takes me forever and I go around in circles. GitHub. I went to GitHub recently.
Alright, I think...
Oh, that was just...
Sky Stalker's been our longest Patreon since the 17th, 2019.
But the 17th of what?
May.
Oh, 17th of May, 2019. Skystalker's been the longest on
I
Patreon
say Meg.
currently. No, you didn't. You just said the first and the last. Thank you very much. I think Rally is probably next, isn't he?
Yes. We did have Seam at Night and people didn't make
Oh yeah, Seam at Night and all those. Yeah, God blimey.
And then next is the Trojan.
John Davis says,
Which is not in order, right?
finding things now is a nightmare. Yeah, GitHub. Oh, actually, while we're on the subject of GitHub, for those of you that are interested in our little BIOS pre-check utility, it's now, we do have the GitHub page back up. It is working, so if you want to go there to get the code or to find out more about it, with the GitHub page is now up there. So if you just go to GitHub, search for either pre-BIOS check or just Mike's Unboxing. If you search for Mike's Unboxing, it's the only repository I've got on there. I hate the word repository. It sounds like suppository. And some people may say that that is what you should do with my repository, but I put a lot of work into it. Please don't stick it in your butt. Oh dear. Sky says, Mike, don't get me started with Patreon support. Try changing your email address. Took me 2 weeks. Almost ditched the whole thing. Yeah, it's just, oh man. Yeah, David Under says, I use AI to help do websites. I had to do the same with GitHub, and it still ended up taking me down the wrong path altogether and getting my GitHub account suspended, because it suggested that I sent a link out for people to check out this tool, and for some reason it was to my personal page on GitHub. So people were trying to log in or had a login prompt, and of course quite a few people tried to log in with the wrong user credentials or their own credentials on my account, and yeah, because quite a few people did it at the same time, it looked like suspicious activity, and my account got suspended, which then took me ages to get back. But it's working now, so if you want to go over to the GitHub, have a look.
That's probably why you got a sore throat, then that's probably hard for you to swallow.
It was hard for me to swallow.
When did the sore throat start and when did that get corrected?
I don't know.
At the same time?
Not really. GitHub is owned by Microsoft. I believe it is. I believe it is, yeah, because GitHub is about to start. Well, I think GitHub already have what's the word looking for?
Integrated.
Integrated, thank you. GitHub have integrated Copilot 365 into it and all their AI shenanigans, so they can't leave shit alone. Leave it alone. Dear. Anyway, there you go. So yeah, if you want to check out the the new and improved version of the pre-BIOS check, which now includes also checks for BIOS dates. It does that more effectively now using different commands, and also it can do, well, there's basically, I've added in now some fallbacks. So if it scans a motherboard and it can't see the original data using, I think it's WMI, it then uses SIM. If it can't use SIM, it then uses like a scraping tool to scrape the BIOS info and then format it correctly, so that's cool. Also, it now does special things. We had problems before when I showed it. If you look for your motherboard BIOS and the tools, it would just go to a Google search. So using the WMI, the SIM data and scraping tool, I can get a lot more information about the individual things like laptops and motherboards. So now, even if you're on like a Dell, an Acer, HP, Lenovo, all that kind of stuff, it should take you to the exact correct page for every device, which is very, very cool indeed. So you don't have to rely on Google. We've cut Google out of the search engine, but if for some reason the scrapes don't work, it will then go as a fallback and go to the Google search. So if all the other methods fail, all three of them, the fourth option, or kind of the nuclear option, is the Google search. So yeah, I'm very proud of the tool actually. It's coming on leaps and bounds. A few things need to do to it, but we'll get there. Mick Woods, it's been a member for 35 months. Thank you very much, Mickey Woods. What a handsome chap. And he's also sent us a £10 super chat. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Is there a message there? No, I can't see. No, the box in the way. No message. But thank you, Mick. Much appreciated. John David Sullivan says, talking of integrations, thankfully Netflix didn't win the bid of Warner Brothers. Paramount won. Not as bad. Yeah, I quite like Paramount. Paramount Plus. Our daughter has got a Paramount Plus account, so we use that. I've been watching X-Files. That's how ill I've been. I've actually watched X-Files from the 90s. It's been great because like they've been showing like old Macintosh computers and stuff in terminals. It's amazing. And like mobile phones where they actually have to pull the aerial out. Incredible. Absolutely love it. Yeah, so Paramount, I'm not sure if that's a good thing for Paramount or not. I don't know where Paramount have got the money to buy that.
They don't need money, all these companies.
You'd think Paramount doesn't, well, I suppose Paramount has got a lot of IP, but have they got enough to warrant that? Who knows? Anyway. Rick, I agree.
I'm Dave Aiken above, like just above the super.
Dave Aiken. Mike, did you ever take a look at the 5060 Ti 8 gig? I look at it every day. It's literally here. I keep on looking at it and thinking, I need to test this thing. The thing is, I know what the reactions are going to be to this card, and it's going to be one of those videos that people just hate because it's got 8 gigs of RAM, which I think is really unfair because you don't really need more than 8 gigs of RAM, but you need to know how to manage your system or manage your games so that you don't go over the 8 gigs of RAM. Otherwise, it does get quite bad quite quickly. So yeah, it's a funny one. If this was a 16 gig card, it would be awesome. If it was a 12 gig card, it would still be awesome. But being an 8 gig card, it's just, I don't know. When you think of things like the RX 480, all that time ago was like an 8 gig card. And that was the time when AMD were like chucking RAM at stuff. Oh, man.
Does it play solitaire?
It will play solitaire.
Focus. Should we give away some?
Oh yeah, let's give away some memberships. We haven't done that yet. Yeah, I still haven't done it, Dave. I'll be honest with you. I've not been well. I've been trying to make shit videos that are easy to do. Or ones I don't have to spend a lot of time doing benchmarking on. Because it upsets me. So there we go. There's some Mike's Unboxing memberships given out. One to Dave Aiken, ironically. We don't choose who they go to. Just want to say that. So Dave Aiken's received a gift membership. Roderick Kennedy, Kai7400, Paul Eddy 112, and Vex Mythoclast. I didn't say it very well. Also received gift memberships. Enjoy your gift memberships. You now get early access to content on the channel. Don't worry. As always, none of our content is paywalled. You will all get it eventually. Just some get it sooner than the others. There you go. Oh, and Dave Aiken sent one Mike's Unboxing reviews on how to gift memberships back. Bless your heart. And that went to Bizarre World. Thank you kindly, sir. Roderick says, thank you for the gift membership. Appreciate it. You're very welcome. Makiwa. How you doing, Makiwa? Haven't been a member for over 5 years. It was this video that was one of the first videos I watched and subscribed. Bless your heart. Thank you very much. I do remember. Long time ago, wasn't it? How time flies. Sky says 8 gig is a bit minimal. Most people want 1440p. It's a bit of a struggle to do that in 8 gigabytes. The thing is, even some games, if you play them at ultra settings, or high settings, even at 1080p, modern games can get really, really close to that buffer. 8 gigs, especially with these games these days, which aren't particularly well written, and the code isn't necessarily optimized as much as it could be, the textures just get really out of hand very quickly. Obviously, it depends on the game. If you're playing racing games, generally, because of the kind of the movement, you can load it in kind of like almost like in a straight line, so it's a lot easier to do. Whereas other games are kind of, they're buffering 360. Where am I looking? The bottom one.
Yeah, always.
Wow, Thank you, Mark Gaines. £40.
And it's a little support for the channel on the message.
It says little support for the channel. Yeah,
Does it say it on there?
it doesn't on there. I'm just reiterating what you said.
On my emails on the computer.
Thank you so much, Mark. That is very kind of you. Mark sent it by PayPal.
Why is it when you use your phone, you've still got to use your computer, or if you're using your computer, they keep sending codes to your phone?
Yeah.
It's like none of it does the complete job anymore.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Ha! And screw you, YouTube. You're not taking a slice of that. PayPal will take a slice, and the taxman will take a slice, but screw you, YouTube. Thank you very much. Paramount Skydance made... of course, Paramount. Yeah, they've got the Mission Impossible franchise, haven't they? Obviously, they've got Star Trek as well. Things like Landman. What's the thing with the... oh, God, I can't think what it's called now. The Sutton family. They got that whole thing going on as well, which has been very popular. I suppose, yeah, they have got some pretty big IP. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Sky says, if you have an 8 gig card in 2026, you have to make some adjustments to run well. I think so, yeah. Our Portier says, I think €450 is a lot of money for that 5060 Ti. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Dave did tell me, I think, roughly how much he paid for it. And I think he got a very good price for it. So it wasn't like he didn't buy it full price. I'm pretty sure it was an Amazon kind of warehouse deal or something. I'm guessing that by the extra white labels on there, like it's been resealed. So I think it was a one of those deals. I'm pretty sure there was 2 of them available at the same time.
Makawa.
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
Well, Bill.
Trying to keep it discreet.
Oh. Sorry.
Because it was deleted after I started.
Yellowstone, thank you. That's the one I was thinking of. I tell you, actually, I watched a little bit of Yellowstone and I didn't like it. I got very bored of it very quickly. But apparently it's very good.
I think it's 30%, isn't it? Cool cat.
Yeah, percentage. YouTube take 30% of everything. So from the view time, just commercials that are run and the videos, the super chats, the donations, yeah, basic memberships, yeah. YouTube takes 30% because they are asshole. But they've given us a platform, so whether we're paying 30% for, I don't know. Sky says, I love Star Trek. Paramount has almost killed it, or at least is actively trying. Very much like what Marvel have been doing. It's a thing. Actually, I'm going to put the other light on because I don't like that overhead light. It makes my head look
When you
funny.
put that one on, take that away.
Oh, I shouldn't have got up because I might have to fart now. I'll try my best not to. I'll clench. Anyway, Flame, I can't judge where you're standing and clench at the same time. Something's going to give. Christ.
You do Johnny Briggs theme tune.
Oh, here we go. Dave says I bought both. 240-ish. Happy days. If you want 250 quid for it, I'll buy it off you so I don't got to worry about doing a review. Voyager is my favourite. Yeah, I love Voyager. Voyager's awesome. Voyager was a very underrated series. Anyway. Makwa says, I'm not sure why I came as Makwa or Makiwa. Yeah, Makiwa. I'm Wabil. Wabil! Wabil! Sorry. I watch Star Trek on Amazon Prime. I watch Amazon Prime on Brave browser because it doesn't show those shitty adverts which drive me mad. For Pepto-Bismol, if you've got nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. Oh man, I can't get out of my fucking head. They've ruined my brain with that shit.
You were singing that on the way to the meal yesterday.
When we went out for a meal yesterday. We don't do it often.
5 minutes walk, but we
Literally 5 minutes away from us, but we drove because whatever. Yeah, and I was singing that in the car. I'm not well. I'm not well. Oh dear. Anyway, moving on. Right, we are supposed to be talking about things computer related, but we go off on a tangent. It's like being in the pub with your mates, isn't it? Just not quite so much smoke.
Steve and the rest of the cat family.
Who says that?
G Rich.
J Rich. Thank you, J Rich.
That's Maisie, Candy. Who else is missing?
Yeah.
Otis.
Yeah, lots of cats.
Maisie, Candy, Otis. That's it.
All at once, it's like, hear you on that bloody advert. Yeah. Oh man, I want to play it now, but I don't want to get copyrighted strike on it. But it's such a brain worm. They've done a really good job on it. Whoever made the advert actually does want to have some kind of award. They're great. Anyway, moving on. So things which we bought this week. One of which is, or actually before we do that, I just noticed O'Reilly is got the cobwebs out of the wallet. Thank you very much, sir.
So rude.
He knows I'm joking. Pepto-Bismol song. Thanks, Mike. I'll remember that all night now. Yeah, it is the Pepto-Bismol song.
You've got to sing it again now.
Oh,
O'Reilly wants it again.
I'm going to find it.
No, don't play it. Sing it.
If I can find it from... They're not going to do me, are they? Bismol?
Bit of free advertising for him.
Pepto-Bismol advert. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, boy. It's 30 seconds long. Let's see if we can do it. Oh, actually, watch the Pepto-Bismol Greasy Spoon TV ad from commercial film director Anthea Benton by international film company Fresh Film. Right. I'm prepared to take one for the team, so to lose any monetization for this video, just to show this video. I might have to try and play it at like a different speed or something.
Favourite, maybe a little.
Right, ironically, it's showing me an advert for an advert. Let me just get past that. So I don't think you can hear that. Is that noise coming through? Can you hear that noise? You probably can. If you can, again, I apologise. Gaff's a little bit behind on the chat there. Come on. This, ironically, the advert... Oh, there we go. I don't know how I'm going to get the sound for this actually into OBS. Right, better still, I know what I'll do.
Do it, Mike.
I'll just put the link in the chat. So if you want to be devastated by this, you can do. Let's stick it in there. Control V. Right, there you go. I'll put the link in the chat. So if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, which probably a lot of you don't anyway.
You better take everything after the question mark off.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, because otherwise it tracks you.
If you take off after the question mark, you won't get the link. It'll just be whatever. Turn on subs and turn off sound. I think it's better if you just watch it for yourselves, but I will show you. There we go. This is the bloke who says diarrhea, just to give you a little bit of a flash of him. So there you can see him. He's got diarrhea, as you can tell by that look on his face, that pained expression where he's trying to clench like a...
So why's he got a brush?
Well, that's to sweep it up after.
He wouldn't use them all.
No, he's got the brush because they're in a Greasy Spoon cafe, and it's like workers and stuff that have gone in there. Like, so there's builders, electricians, and all sorts, and he's like a road sweeper, I'm guessing.
Are they all in there?
Yeah, look, this.
With all their elements.
Yeah, look, she's got the upset tummy. He's got heartburn, obviously. That's what you get for riding your bike. He's got nausea, clearly.
It might be because of his fashion.
If you got nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset tummy, diarrhea. It's the Welsh voice that he chucks into it at the end. Look at him all dancing around. Man, that's how you make an advert. If we ever make enough money so we can have an advert, I want it. I'm going to do it. Clenched like a straight guy in a gay bar, says Rasher. I'm not sure if I can say that, but I think I probably had. Anyway, there you go.
There you go.
You can... Oh, look at that. We've got 888... No, we've got 8,888 unread messages on YouTube at the moment. Nice. There's Jason Words. Oh, Jason W, sorry. He says, I've never seen that commercial. It's great.
I don't think I've I've ever seen it. I've only heard it over.
Old Bob says you have to clench like a boss when you have a runny bum.
Or play Kevin Wilson's. What was it? Belly.
Yeah. Right. Right. Anyway, moving on. So, other deals this week on overclockers here in the UK. They've had these bad boys. Was it overclockers? Yes, it was overclockers. The Thermaltake Assassin X120 Refined SE in white. These were being kicked out for £12.99. This is the ARGB version in white. So I had to get a pair of those because obviously why not? 13 quid. You genuinely can't go wrong with these. These are actually really good performers. The fans are really nice and quiet. They're easy to install. Yeah, you genuinely can't go wrong. So if you're looking for a cheap little AM4 stroke AM5 cooler, or for Intel, it'll do Intel 115X upwards. So that is all the way through to 1851 at the moment. Yeah, they're absolutely great coolers. I've got, well, potentially got plans to put this onto a Intel 245K, but I'm not sure if I might go water cooling on that, just to make it look a bit nicer. But these are definitely worth keeping. If you haven't got some already, yeah, grab a couple. They're great for keeping in stock, just for testing purposes, really. They're just really easy to use. So anyway, got some of those. Those were fantastic bargains this week. And if you use the discount code, pre-CP free delivery or something, then yeah, you can get free delivery as well.
What was the code? I think I had to book over it.
What was what?
The code.
PC... Oh, God. I posted it in the Discord, but I think it's like PC Free Dell. Yeah, PC Free Dell. Something to do with PC Part Picker. So that's good. Other things. Thermaltake sent over some bits and bobs, as they generally do. Got this one, the TH360 V3. So, some of you have probably seen the previous videos we've done on the TH360 range. There's the original TH360, the V2, which was out about a year and a half ago. Great coolers. These are generally at very competitive prices with like Thermaltake and other kind of off-brand coolers. Generally, the TH range is the one to go for from Thermaltake if you're on a little bit of a budget. Yes, Gav. Oh, thank you, Dutch Jan, and whoever else put it in. Oh, hang on, what did Dutch Jan say? Strange one. Thermaltake is a Taiwanese company but has German names in the product names. Any idea what the link is?
Greg, you meant to say.
I don't know. And thanks, Greg, for the PCPP free Dell. Thank you. Thermaltake is a Taiwanese company but has German names in the product names. What do they have German names in the product names? I haven't grasped that. I've not. You'd have to be more specific. I don't quite understand. Maybe they do. German names in the product names. Oh, Remad has just posted the link. Let's have a look. Go to site. Oh, the Germanium. The Germanium Pro RGB power supply. No, I don't know. I have no idea at all. Oh, actually, it's got a German label on it as well. German series, designed in Germany. No, I have no idea. That is the first I've heard of it. That's an interesting one. So I'm not sure. I'll put the.
Oh, Davey.
There you go. There is the Thermaltake German series, done by Thermaltake in Germany. So there's basically an RGB version of the. It looks like it's the. I'm trying to think what version that is. It looks like it might be the GT 850. Looking at, yeah, 80 plus gold, ATX 3.1. Yeah, I think it's just an RGB version. But I don't, yeah, I honestly don't know what the deal is there. The German series. But to call it Germanium, that is a bit of an odd name, isn't it? How strange.
Germanish.
Germanisch Heilkunde. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, Dave says, yeah, Thermaltake used to sell 3 old PSUs called the Berlin, the Hamburg, and the Munich. I do remember those, actually, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I will ask. I will ask Adam and see what he says. But, yeah, I have no idea. RGB on a PSU. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. I've actually had a few RGB PSUs. Game Max, one of the more notable ones. I've had a couple of Thermaltake ones, which have had RGB in. Yeah. I suppose in a lot of cases, especially like Thermaltake do the... I'm trying to think what the case is. What's the wall-mountable one, which is like a frame PC? I can't think what it's called now. But the yeah, that with the RGB PSU actually does look quite good because you can angle the PSU or you can see into it quite easily from above. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Anyway, going back to this CPU cooler. So the TH360 V3, there is going to be, I think there's 3 models. So there's the base model, the ARGB Sync. That's just going to have an ARGB kind of infinity look mirror on the front there. Then there's going to be the, not the Ultra, I can't think what they call it. I think it's like the Pro. That's going to have a display very similar to what you can see on that one there at the moment. So it just cycles through a few of your specs. But the Ultra, which is what this one is, has the screen on the front. So if you watch the Minecube video, the Minecube 360 video, where I went into depth to show you how you can change all of the settings on the screen. So you can bring in information about your system, basically do whatever you want to. Yeah, this supports the new Thermaltake LCD screen software. So you don't have to use the Thermaltake RGB software, which some people don't like, which I get. You can use the screen software instead. So this is very much an upgrade. You can basically tell the screen to do kind of almost anything. Your imagination is the only limitation. So you can put on pictures of whatever you like. It's absolutely fine. And also, they've got a new fan setup. So rather than having... Actually, I'm not too sure how I feel about the fans. The fans are really good and they're very powerful. And actually, this is the TH360 V3. That in there is the... I'm trying to think which one it is. It's the Tough Liquid Ultra, which was like their top of the line. I've done a test with this, and this beats that by a couple of degrees, which is quite unusual for a 360mm I/O, because they normally all just are roughly the same, but this actually performs better. So they are evolving. It's not just sticking a new badge on and calling it a day. They're actually making a bit of a change, which is awesome. So the fans, yeah, it's a monoblock design for the fans, and it's a pain in the ass to get out of here. Oh, well done. So the fan on there is a single block. So you've only got 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just one cable coming at the end. And the RGB effect kind of scrolls down through the fans, which looks absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, this is awesome. And also, like, it's got the 4-inch LCD screen, which is uber programmable. You can kind of do whatever you want with it. It's insane the amount of flexibility they've given you. So you can have like one massive screen with like CPU temperature, or you can have about 30 or 40 different system events going on there. It's really, really user customizable, and it performs like an absolute champ. And best of all, the fans and also the pump are very quiet. I couldn't hear the pump at all. Even on full blast, I had to kind of get my ear right next to it, and it wasn't until I actually grabbed one of the tubes to feel like the amount of fluid going through them. It's like, yep, that seems to be working then. So yeah, if you are possibly in the lookout for a new AIO, this new one from Thermaltake is awesome. The screen software doesn't appear to work on Linux at present, although it may do via Proton. I'm not entirely sure how the lookup tables go through. Possibly it won't, but never say never. Thermaltake's a weird company. They do some really like bizarre things, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if they did port the software over to Linux, if there was enough call for it. That is what Thermaltake's all about. they take the customer feedback, and if there's enough people saying the same thing, then they'll basically do it because they know it makes sense. Because if people are asking for it, you might as well make the product. Oh dear. So yeah, anyway, this is very cool. Prices for these start from, I think it's £99 in the UK for the different versions. This top of the range one, a little bit more pricey. The recommended retail price is supposed to be £159, which seems like a lot of money, and it is. But if you take into account the screen and what it can do, I think it's very, very fairly priced. Almost to the point of making it cheap in kind of retrospect anyway. So yeah, that is very cool. We like that a lot. And the case we'll take a look at next, because we've finally got around it all this time later. The case is a strange one. Actually, I'm not even going to explain it. I'm just going to get it. I think that's going to be the best way. So do excuse me a momentum. Watch out, there's a little monkey there. Otis! Hello. Otis! I have scared him off. We always talk like that with a lisp because Otis has got a lisp.
And Dave.
And Dave.
You've got a lisp, haven't you, Dave?
Give us a kiss, Dave. So here we are. Here is the Thermaltake View 380 WS ARGB in snow. A fish tank style case, which I know there's a lot of you out there don't like your fish tank cases. I get it, I understand. But there are a lot of people that do. That's why all these companies are making them, so it's not all about you, you miserable bastards. I joke. It is all about you. We'll have a look. So essentially what they've done is they've taken the View 380, which was okay, which was a decent enough case, and what they've done is added some wood. Because that was the meta. Do they do a yellow snow? Only if I've not had a wee.
Can easily feed the fish in this case?
Fish can be easily fed. Most certainly. Absolutely certain. It does come actually particularly well packaged, which is quite nice. Now, this particular case, Thermaltake, I've said to them, would you like it back? Because I'm finished with it now. And they've said, would you like to give it away? So, well, not really. Because we hate doing that, because it's an absolute pain organising it all. So potentially, there might be a giveaway, but it'll be organised by Thermaltake. But we'll see. This case comes. Oh, sorry. Let me move it. I'll take this off before I start talking about the case, because you'll never hear a thing I say. If you got nausea, heartburn, upset stomach, diarrhea. Sorry. Look, don't get mad at me for singing that stuff. It's either that or I start singing in Brummie accent, which Kath loves. It's either that or do Rod Stewart in the style of an Indian person, which I probably get told off for doing that on a stream. So maybe I won't do that. How is it we can do a Birmingham voice, but we can't do an Indian voice? Or can we not do a Birmingham voice either? Impersonations, that used to be a thing of comedy. Anyway.
But it's okay to do a Bristol accent.
Yeah, you can, I do a Bristol accent all the time. Yeah, but no, but no, but yeah, but. Right then. So, wood. 4 strips of wood. That's the only difference of this case over the standard View 380. And that's it. Let's put it back in the box. I'm joking. I'm joking. Essentially, that is the difference. So, two versions of this available at the moment. There's the white version with the wooden trim in the pale wood, which I don't know what the wood is. I have no idea. Is there any experts on wood? Aletta? Any ideas?
She's not an expert on wood.
It's sarcasm.
AF6LJ Sue says, I'm glad I don't own a television. It's not on television, it's on YouTube.
No, the advert's on, well, the advert is on TV, but it's also on Amazon Prime. Even though I pay for Amazon Prime, they still bombard you with videos for...
It's unwatchable now.
It is, Amazon Prime is unwatchable. There's so many adverts in it, it's horrendous. Thank you, Brave Browser. Right, so ATX case comes with 4 included ARGB fans, 1 in the back, which is a traditional airflow, 3 in the side, which are reverse airflow. You can put 360mm rad in the top. You can put a 360mm rad in the bottom if you're going for an open loop. On the side, unfortunately, 240mm or 280 radiators, not a 360, which I think is actually probably a wise decision to keep the size down to a minimum, because it is a dual chamber case, quite compact in reality, which if I give you some measurement, you're looking at just over 11 inches wide, or about 290mm. In terms of depth, we're looking at about 420, and in terms of height, about 410mm. So relatively compact, which is quite nice. When you get it out of the box for the first time, I've actually put the screws back in, but you probably will need to do this at least once. So loosen off the screws on the back, which are captive. Pull that backwards, and that removes the top panel. And then to take off the glass panels, at least for the very first time anyway. Dave, what are you doing on the box? Let's go with the overhead. So hopefully you can see that. Look at that, that's a fantastic shot. I did that. That was me.
Does it come with white paint?
Comes with white paint.
Sorry, but spoils the look in my opinion.
Wow. Oh, what, for the wood?
Yeah.
Just, if you want to buy, if you like the case, but you don't want the wood, you can buy it without the wood for 10 quid cheaper. So, yeah. So there's a retaining screw here. Single one there, which you can just about see, hopefully. And you've got 2 screws on the front section. These are purely to keep it in together whilst being moved. So for normal everyday use, you can leave those open or out. Excuse me. And the front panels just pop off. So you can pull that out. You see, clear glass. And there's just like a ledge on the bottom. So that just fits in there. Bop, bop, done. And the side one, there's a little lever or a little bit on the end there. So you can pop that out. And again, to hold it in place, there's 2 little marks or protrusions which go into the
wood looks like a plate
side of the case.
someone stuck it on as a joke.
They kind of did, I think. But it's all for that meta of, ooh, cases have got wood on them now. Yay! So yeah, you can see it a little bit better there. So to be honest with you, I didn't like it when I first saw it, but it has actually grown on me. It's quite a nice look. And if you've got one of those kind of slightly more modern houses or the kind of the Scandinavian type look in your room or whatever, and you want to tie it all together, little accents like that actually do work out quite nicely. And of course, if you want to, yeah, you could take these off and make a bench for very small people. That's a thing. But yeah, I didn't like it initially, but I do quite like it now. And I'm not too sure if they're just stuck on or screwed on. Because if they're just stuck on, you could always take them off anyway if you get tired of them. I'm pretty sure they are removable. But yeah, it's a different look anyway. So on the top, like I said, 360mm AIO. You can put in there if you wanna. In terms of I/O, we've got a nice I/O selection, pretty much what you should expect to see, unlike NZXT or just crazy with I/O. So power button, illuminated around the outside, and also there's another LED in there for hard drive activity. USB 3.0 Type A's, got 2 of those ports, nice. Individual ports there for your headphone and mic. Reset button, and also a USB Type C. So that is good. Excuse me. So I was just looking at my phone there. I thought I heard my phone vibrating. Must have been calf. Yeah, so that's all good. Happy days. Pretty pleased with that. It's actually very solid as well, which is quite a nice thing these days. A lot of cases are starting to get a bit flimsy. So yeah, that's all good like that. On the back, you've got the usual setup. So being it's a dual chamber, you've got your power supply section. So this is like the back end. All your kind of work stuff in there. This side is obviously the front side. So you've got a little removable screw there. That opens up for your PCI Express. And the slots. The slots, unfortunately, are the fold-out ones, which does upset me a bit. But once they've been folded out and you've got a graphics card in there, who cares? Fan in the back, a little bit of vertical adjustment, about 1 inch. You can move that. Oh, actually, tell a lie. No, you can't, can you? There's very little movement on that on the back because of how they've done those slots. Really, those slots should have been a bit higher up so it can move up or down a bit more. But yeah, there's very little movement on there, unfortunately. But not that it really needs to move, to be honest. So that's okie dokie. Take a look in the back. So we've got this kind of like, almost like a tea bag effect. Very nice and porous, very open. So for pulling in air, but also not pulling in too much dust because it's quite a tight mesh. And it just lifts off the side, take it out of the way. Happy days. Then you can see inside, so you've got your reverse airflow fans there. And unfortunately, because of where this bit is here, so this is your front I/O. So you can probably see there's your front I/O. So because of where the front I/O panel comes in and those bits there, that's why you can't put a 360mm AIO in there, because it will take up too much room. I might try it actually, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to fit because most AIOs are 397mm. And if we put that in there, it's going to come to basically there. So it's bigger than the case. So realistically, no, a 360 rad won't fit in there. Don't even try. It's not going to happen. You've got a drive caddy here, drive mounting caddy. So if you want to put some hard disk drives and stuff in there, you can do. Actually, let me know in the chat, how many of you actually use mechanical drives? Either 2.5 inch drives, SATA SSDs, or 3.5 inch drives. Just give me an idea in the chat how many of you actually use them, and also how many you've got in your system. I'll be quite interested to see what the kind of the consensus is. Ramad says yes. What do you use and how many do you use? I'm using the wrong screwdriver. Using the wrong screwdriver is the easiest way to damage threads and screws. Sinister Chef says I have a SATA SSD and only one that I use. Sky says I use HDDs in NAS, 2x4 terabytes. Dave's got a 1 terabyte and a 2 terabyte installed, but only connect SATA power when need them, as I don't like the noise. I think that is a lot of the problem, isn't it? People don't like the noise. So anyway, take the 4 screws out. This bit comes out, so if you want a bit of extra space in the bottom, you can do. We all like a bit of space in the bottom. If you want to though, oh shit, you can put drives in there. So let me grab a drive just to give you an example. So you can screw drives onto there. So put a couple of drives screwed onto the outside there if you want to do that. And also, at the same time, you can put a drive on the inner side of this as well. Let me grab a drive and I will show you. I'm sure somebody somewhere is having a toffee crisp. Oh, don't worry.
I was going to say I could just eat one, but I don't want to.
So you put your drives in there, and of course the cutouts are in the perfect place. So putting your power in, etc. So you can focus on there. So you can see your SATA ports there. So yeah, one drive in there, then you can put a couple of drives on the outside there. So that's quite nice. So you can put in a decent amount of storage in there if you want to populate it with mechanical drives. That's absolutely fine, it can be done. Or if you want the room for wiring, etc., then of course you can just leave all of this wide open. Now interestingly, the fans in here are ARGB and they're also daisy chainable, but they're also DC controlled, but weirdly work with a PWM controller, which I don't quite understand. But it works, so I'm not going to question it. So somehow they've managed to make a DC fan PWM, but it's not a PWM plug. So yeah, I'm not sure. It's very strange. And I think I've lost a screw already. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Where have I... How can I have lost a screw already? I've literally only just taken that out of there. Where have I lost the screw? Help me out, chat. What did I do with that screw? I had it in the palm of my hand. Did anyone hear anything drop? Oh well. Well, it's only going to have three screws holding it in. So yeah, quite nice for cable management and all that kind of stuff. So you can pass all the wires through there, keep all nice and tight, keep it out of the way of the airflow paths, etc. Those aren't in there. Yeah, quite a nice layout. I do like the dual chamber design because it means you can just have messy old crap in the back and it doesn't matter because no one's ever going to see it. And the side panel fits on nicely. You've got loads of room there, so for the drives to breathe. Obviously power supply is going to go here, in through here, and that's going to pull in air from the side from this mesh. So it's kind of isolating the power supply from the rest of the system heat wise, which is kind of cool. Lancer says, love the new camera angle, Mike. It's not really a new camera angle, but for this, there's the bastard screw. I just found it, yay! But thank you for the kind words. There's not enough of those in this world these days. Yay, there's the screw. I did drop it. So yeah, on the inside, obviously reverse blade flans available at your local grocers. That's the thing then. Rubber grommets top and also on the sides. Also support for back to front motherboards or back to the future or Project Zero, whatever you want to call it, for both micro ATX and ATX styles. So you can pass all your cables through the sides there. Obviously when a motherboard's in there, all of that will be kind of covered up so you won't see any of the holes, which is very good. Also they've made it so that all the screws and all the fasteners are all metal or bare metal rather than being black. Quite often I see that these days, cases, manufacturers put in like black grommets or black screws and just, it takes away from the look, I think. So yeah, it's pretty good. Easy to pass through all the cables and stuff. Loads of room for that. Yeah, it's a nice design overall, I think, personally. The bottom section, we haven't looked at the bottom yet. Usual kind of stuff there. So you've got mounting option for 3 120mm fans on the bottom, or radiator, and you've got the magnetic removable dust filter. Personally, I always take these out. They're basically pointless because you've got such a tight mesh over there. When it goes on top of the mesh there, the airflow is so restricted there, it's just pointless. Now, meshed up, it really is. If you're going to be putting fans in here, leave this out. If you're not putting fans in, leave it in just to, I don't know, keep it somewhere safe. But yeah, it's a nice case. I like the layout of it. I will be doing a build in this. I was planning, like I said, if the board that Andy Archer's fix had come back, I would be building this tonight. But unfortunately it hasn't. The timing hasn't gone right for us on that. But it's not a problem. It's not like it's the end of the world or anything. We'll get around to it at some point. Also, I have got a little GPU to go in here. So I've got a nice little white GPU. It's a cute one. It's very cute indeed. I got this little MSI RTX 4060. Very cute indeed. And again, being white, it's going to fit in with the white theme. So we've got a mostly white motherboard. We've got the MSI graphics card, which I might even try and do some kind of vertical mounting just to give it a little bit more presence, although I don't think it really warrants it. But I think, yeah, little white graphics card in there, which is roughly the same size as the motherboard, leaving all the fans unobstructed. I think that's going to look pretty neat. And also the 4060 is still quite a good card for what it is, for making yourself a nice, relatively low-cost PC, which in this day and age is quite a difficult thing to actually achieve. Let's put that screw back in before I lose it again. Now that I find it, I don't want to let her go. John says flans. Yeah, that's me thinking of food. I am actually hungry. I really want a coffee. Why do I want a coffee? I don't normally like coffee, really. Roller bothered. That's Manchester onion. Let's go back to the other camera. So there we go. I thought I'd ripped it. I thought I'd crashed. I thought I'd smashed the glass then. I thought, why would I have done that? No, that's just the film on the front. Stay there, you bastard. So yeah, I think it's a nice enough case. It's again, if you're doing one of those kind of white builds where it all looks really nice and pristine, and you want to spend the money on the basically like paying the white tax, as it is kind of pretty much known for white parts. Although having said that, recently the RX 9060 XT 16 gig has been available for £350 recently from overclockers and also from Amazon as well. And that is the Sapphire Pure Edition. So that's a nice card. Only a dual fan. Realistically, like, it's 160 watt TDP card, or GDP I suppose you'd call it, or whatever it is. The graphics cards are called now, Total Graphics Power, TGP. So yeah, I think it's about 160 watts. Single 8-pin connector as well, awesome. 350 quid for a 16 gig 9060 XT. Kind of sounds pretty good. It's a shame, again, going back to the 5060 Ti, the 5060 Ti is probably going to be the faster card, but it's going to really struggle when you start getting over that 8 gig buffer with your games basically stuttering, which is a horrible thing. Like, it's bad enough these days, especially if you play online competitive shooters or online competitive games of any sort. If you've got stutter, it's really distracting. And even if you're playing one of those more immersive titles, like I'm trying to think of one particularly, maybe Indiana Jones. It's a very immersive title. So the last thing you want is for that immersion to be broken by stuttering frames, which means you're going to have to reduce your quality settings, which again then potentially might reduce your immersion in the games. And ultimately that's why a lot of us play some of the games we play, because we want that immersion. Now for me personally, I don't care too much. Like, I'll play Fortnite with everything turned on, RTX on, or I'll play it like performance mode. I don't really care. Yes, every now and then, like if you put it in like RTX mode, every now and then you walk through Fortnite, certain areas, and you're like, wow, that actually does look pretty cool. But then you get shot. So you're probably better off at competitive mode, remove those distractions and just play the damn game. But in other titles where immersion is a thing, so the new Resident Evil game, for instance, very, very immersive, very atmospheric, you're going to want to turn your eye candy right up on that. 8 gigs of RAM, probably ain't going to cut it. So do you get lower FPS but higher quality frames, or do you go for more FPS and less immersion? It's a tough one. It really is a tough one. I guess it's going to come down to budget as well. If you've got the money, just buy like a 9060 XT or a 5070 or 4070 Ti Super, something like that. And yeah, you're going to be fine with pretty much any game. But that's a lot of money to sink into a graphics card. Trust me, I know, I've been there and I paid the price with basically losing money on almost every graphics card I buy, ever. It's one of those things. So it depends on the individual. If it's your hobby, you love it, you like it, you're doing all that kind of stuff, and it's just you enjoy it, then take the money out of the equation. But if you're doing it with an idea to flip parts, then obviously you've got to start looking at the money side of it. So have a look at some of your questions and I will drink my drink. Sinister Chef says, coffee is a must. I may have to go and get more now. Davis says, me without coffee is not a pretty look. I haven't drank coffee, like as a daily thing, for...
Coming up 2 years in May.
It'll be 2 years in May.
Neither of us have.
We have the occasional coffee or latte if we go out for a meal, but that's extremely rare. Or if we go somewhere, again, which is very rare, like if Kath goes to her mum's, she might make a cup of tea or coffee there. If I go to my mum's, she might make me a cup of tea, but yeah, it's extremely rare that I drink any caffeinated drinks these days. Rasher says, I just had a ooh snap on my new 3.5K PC. What the actual fuck? Excuse me, potty mouth. Rasher wrote it. Just saying, I'm just repeating it. Dave Leonard says, the 9060 XT Pure 16 gig is what I use in my PC. Cost me 495 Aussie dollars. So that's around £260. Wow. You get some really good prices over in Australia for some things. It's really weird. Like, PC parts in Australia seem to be quite well priced. Like, if you take into effect the... is that including sales tax? Or do you add on sales tax after? Because ours is obviously included in the price that we pay. Like the sticker price. Sinister Chef says, I've enjoyed my 5060 thus far. I don't play with max settings or chase frames, kind of feels like it's the sweet spot. Yeah, definitely the 4070, 4070 Ti, 4070 Ti Super, 5070, 5070 Ti, 9060 XT 16 gig, 9070, 9070 XT. I think all of those cards do fit into that kind of sweet spot for the sort of the more recent generations. I think you'd have to throw in the 7800 XT in there as well. 7800 XT was a great card. And the 9060 XT 16 gig is about 5 to 10% slower than the 7800 XT, but considerably cheaper, about £100 less. So not too bad. Rasher says, I drink two coffees every day. Problem is there are lattes and cappuccinos, too much dairy. I know, I'm not a real coffee drinker. Yeah, dairy is my problem. I drink a lot of our chicory root based drink. I have probably like between 5 to 10 of those a day.
I don't think we have that many.
On a busy day, we will do if we're active and stuff.
I make most of them. I don't make that many.
Probably 5 a day.
Probably.
Easy.
Yeah. But we don't drink as much as we did with tea and coffee.
Alexa says, I wish the US added tax to the price. It would be much easier. It would be easier to know what it will cost at the register. Yeah, we only get that here. There are some companies you can buy from, like retail stores, which are technically trade only. So if you shop in there or you've got a trade card, they are legally allowed to show the prices excluding VAT or value added tax. So you have to add on 20% to that, but it's quite rare. And I think even those now, like I haven't been to a Costco in kind of ever. So I went to Macro, which is a similar sort of thing here in the UK. Macro used to have VAT excluded on its prices. Costco, I think, possibly does as well, but I'm not too sure. David says, the mic, yes, the Aussie prices include the 10% general sales tax. Not allowed to advertise any prices as tax-free. Yeah, same as what we have. Viali says it's Tassimo time. Nice. We had a Tassimo, didn't we? Do we have a Tassimo?
He bought it from Christmas before we moved house, so about 2000.
Yeah. Wow. 25 years ago we had one then. That's terrifying.
Didn't we have another when we lived here? No, we had one in the office, didn't we?
Yeah.
Product placement we had to test out. They're just too expensive though, aren't they, for pods?
Semrab says, is the main issue with these 50 series GPUs when using 8GB version on older motherboards, they say Gen 3 or Gen 4 PCI Express? Yeah, to some extent that is going to be a problem. With the AMD cards, the AMD cards generally tend to be a wide bus, so 16 PCI Express lanes. Some of them are 8, but most of them tend to be 16. But for NVIDIA, yes, they have dropped the lanes. So some of them are only 8 lanes. And then if you do drop a PCI Express Gen 5 card into an older board, like a B450, then yeah, you're going to be dropping down to PCI Express Gen 3 speeds. So it's all going to have a knock-on effect. Now, realistically, some of those cards aren't going to be pushing those high frames anyway. And I think Hardware Unboxed did a video on it showing like how much percentage you lose. And it depends from title to title and resolution, that kind of stuff. But it's relatively minimal. But having said that, every small minimal difference, if there's a few of them in the system, they all mount up. So yeah, ideally if you've got like an older system like a B450 or B550, you probably want to stick to PCI Express Gen 4 cards realistically anyway, if you can, if you want to get the best out of them. But yeah, there's lots of variables on that. Yeah, Sensor Chef says basically what I've said. Yeah, 50 series card on Gen 4 isn't going to really hurt it too much. On the Gen 3, you probably will notice a bit more. Phil Starr says my RX 9060 XT is running on a Gen 5 x16 on a B850 motherboard. Awesome stuff. And what CPU are you running on now? I have interest.
Apparently Royal Mail tried to deliver those brakes.
Yeah, but did you see where they delivered it to?
There's no picture.
No. Even better. The postcode, BS16 3XX, I think it was. Do you know where that is?
No.
The sorting station. That's
Fish ponds?
yeah. So basically they ran out of time and just took it back to the depot. Sorry, having a conversation.
Sorry.
I ordered some discs and pads for Angel's car, and they were supposed to be delivered either yesterday or today. And it's 6:30 this evening. We got a message saying that there was an attempted delivery, and the postcode wasn't even like close to our postcode. So I thought, right, well, that's clearly like the road we live in, the road name. There's quite a few of them.
There is one right on the verge of that office, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of them around because of this area was was mostly built around a certain time to give it its name without giving too much away.
It's anything to do with that because all the other places are different dates to this place.
This road was because of when it was built.
Others weren't.
Yeah.
They're different dates.
But anyway, so yeah, there's a few of them around. So I thought initially, yeah, they'd taken it to the wrong place. But yeah, they just took it back to the depot because they ran out of time. Lazy bastards. That's unfortunate. Moving on. What did Phil Stodd say? Did he say what CPU he's got? No. Alexa says I'll be on my AM4 system until my system dies.
I'm in my M4, am I?
Kath's on AM4, yeah, she's still on the B450 with the CPU, which was donated by Welly Bob, the Ryzen 2600X. I'm sure it's an X version. And the graphics card which William Bodie donated, which was the GTX 1060 6GB from Zotac. It's on a ASRock B450 Pro 4 in the classic GameMax F15 mesh case, and has a, I'm trying to think what power supply is in it. The power supply was a weird one. There was a deal on from, I think it's Silverstone. There was a 600 watt gold power supply, fully modular. They were going for like £20 or something stupid. So I was like, well, that's obviously going to get rejected. That's not going to happen. And ordered it, and it turned up. It was like, wow. It was like £19.99, I'm sure it was. Bizarre. So yeah, that was cool.
And Windows 10.
And Windows 10 as well.
And 600 tabs open, and it hasn't even crashed, Rasher.
Yeah, Caf's got all the tabs open. I mean,
And I've had no snaps at all. I rarely do.
yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
And it's opened in Chrome.
Yeah, with all my extensions as well, so it should be behaving the same as mine. It's very strange.
Windows 10, isn't it?
Right, yeah, so that is the case. Any questions about the case? Do you want to see the lights? If you do, cool. If you don't, whatever. To be honest with you, the fans, the lights themselves, they're okay. They were pretty quiet, but there's nothing really to write home about. They are very basic fans. They're Thermaltake's ARGB Light, they call them. L-I-T-E, not L-I-G-H-T. So RGB or ARGB Light. I would consider them to be on par with like the Thermaltake TL range, TL12s, or TLC12s, I think they're called. Very similar to that. No, no one cares. Okay. Oh, I can't even put it away now because the bastardos are on the box. Bastardos!
Oh, I like them being pals again.
I am actually looking forward to building this. I've got a nice white power supply to go in here. So white cables as well. Although I think I've got some cable extensions here from Tucer. Which I think Andy Archer sent these many moons ago. And they've actually been very handy for things like this. But for this, it would be perfect because having cable extensions, they can be a little bit problematic for finding room inside the case. Whereas in a dual chamber case, that isn't a problem because there's lots of room to hide cables. So potentially I might just use a black power supply and use the cable extensions. The Tucer ones are actually very good. It's a bit of a strange one with cable extensions because like if you've got a real crap power supply, they can make a really crap power supply look very nice. But on the flip side of that, these normally cost somewhere in the region of about £10 to £15, sometimes 20, depending when and where you're shopping. So if you're spending an extra 20 quid on your power supply, being that power supplies have gotten a lot cheaper recently, it kind of begs the question of should you just buy a better modular power supply in the first place rather than spending money on cable extensions. And also there is the side effect of some cable extensions can be not as well made as others and can introduce instability. So again, it's one of those things you have to kind of take into consideration. Let me know in the chat, what are your opinions? Would you buy a cheap power supply and spend extra on the cable extensions, or would you buy a more expensive power supply that was modular and had the right color cables for your particular needs? Let me know. I understand if you're doing like a themed build and you want like green cables, red, blue, grey, whatever. I totally get that. That's a different situation. But if you're just going with either black cables or white cables, would you just buy a better power supply in the first place? Or would you buy the extensions? Let me know. Viali says, I have a pack of cable extensions still in the box. Welcome to my world. Letter says, I don't use cable extensions, I make custom cables. That's awesome. John Dove Sullivan says, I normally buy extensions from Mod DIY. Cool, not heard of them before. They good prices? Phil's switched all of his systems from Microsoft over to Linux only. Wow. Cool Cat says, I prefer the dual chamber, so the power supply has its own little house. It does. Nice, nice use of logo there. Not logo, icon. Excuse me. Let's get my other drink.
Oh, Dave, nearly had you.
Thank you, Rasher, for your kind generosity, as always. Bless your heart. And Rasher says, oh, why is that not working? Or it has worked. People often ask me how I smuggle chocolate into the cinema. Well, I have a few Twix up my sleeve. Ta-da! Very good.
That one on there.
Just that one would be right, I think. Duan says, just a decent power supply without the bling. Yeah, I think so. Dom says, I always use extensions only for aesthetics. PSU price depends only on PC total budget. Sky says, spend more on the power supply. If you need cables for aesthetics, fine, spend the money. Viali says, I would always buy a better PSU anyway. Fair enough. Aletta says, I was kicked out of the theatre for bringing my own food. I guess they got a lot of complaints about the smoke from my grill. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Right, well I can't do anything with this case now, can I? Because those furry little whatsits are in the way. So I'm just going to put it out of the way for now. Right, and so now it's your turn to bring some comments or some subjects to the chat. Or jokes. You can bring jokes.
Bad jokes Saturday.
I would also like to throw into the mix something which I still struggle with. And based on what is going on at the moment with Discord. So, most of you probably know by now, Discord...
I'll make a drink so you keep chat, yeah?
Okay.
Do you want a drink?
Yeah, hang on. Let me finish this one. Bear with me. Hold that thought. Okay. Discord, as you probably are aware, are bringing in a new age verification system. So, essentially, long story short, if you validate your age or verify your age via means of either facial scanning, government ID, etc., etc., you can be shown as being someone of an appropriate age, and you can have access to 18 plus rated channels, content, etc. Alternatively, if you choose to retain some form of your anonymity, other than the fact that you probably posted pictures of yourself or your stuff on Discord anyway, but that's by the by. So if you want to remain slightly more anonymous or not give away your details, you can have the choice to remain as a unverified or a teen user. So this will restrict you from accessing 18 plus rated content. So my argument with this is, a lot of people are saying, I'm going to leave Discord, I'm going over to this chat room, I'm going over to this thing, I'm going to host my own, whatever it is. What I don't entirely understand, now feel free to chime in with this because I'm trying to understand the viewpoint. Now I get it that people don't want to have anything to do with that kind of thing, especially if they're going to be using certain companies which have got bad reputations or bad press or are known to leak data. I understand that. So don't get me wrong on that. I understand that side of things completely. I get it. But having said that, why do you need to be having access to 18 plus content on a Discord. Now, I do know, now Dave Aitken mentioned this earlier, which is a very valid point. If you have a game server, chat server, whatever, and your kind of thing is maybe GTA 6 or GTA 5, technically that is an 18 plus rated game, I think. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. And I'm guessing as well there are going to be some games on the market which have an 18 plus rating to purchase them. That's a thing, I'm sure of it. And if you have a Discord which is based on horror movies or paranormal, that kind of stuff. Again, those types of things I totally understand. But I think those are going to be very much a very minor segment of the user base of Discord. If you have a simple Discord like the one we have, where it's mostly talking about tech chat, a little bit of kind of politics thrown in here and there, a little bit of general discussion, food, drink, etc., etc. Just everyday life. It's just like being in a shop or in the street and saying hi to your neighbours. It's that kind of feeling. So why would you need or even want to have an 18 plus rating for some Discord servers, which are just general everyday servers? I would be quite happy to have no access to 18 plus content, because frankly, why would I want it? Like, yes, it may censor more GIFs possibly, and potentially also censor some offensive language, which, to be fair, Discord does pretty well on its own anyway, unless you override that system. They do a pretty good job. Even when I've sent pictures, I sent a picture of something, I think it was, I can't even remember what it was, but it was something like ridiculous, and I sent a picture and it got stopped because it was like an offensive image or something. And it clearly wasn't, but they deemed it so. So there you go. So they do tend to block a lot of that stuff quite well already, especially in kind of text or graphical based chat. Now obviously for microphone users and headset users who are actually chatting, as in verbalizing, then I can see that being a lot harder thing to police, in which case you may want to have an 18 plus rating on channels to stop children coming in and hearing things they shouldn't. But again, I fall back to my previous argument of, if you've got a Discord server, especially a public one, or one which is a community Discord for a hub where people can meet, if you got like a YouTube channel, a Twitter account, a Twitch account, whatever it is, if your community is on Discord, like, do you really want people cussing and blinding all the time? Isn't it actually just easier and less damaging to your brand or reputation if it is a teens account that you used on there and everyone is set to being like under 18? That is where I'm coming from. The thing is, I'm going to read through the chat in a minute because I know there's going to be people who are going to chime in on this. But my point of view is also, like, that is one side. Like, why do you need to be watching or hearing or listening to 18 plus content on a Discord? Realistically, you don't. If you want to have that sort of environment, then Discord's probably not the place for you. Like, if you want to see scantily clad women, men, whatever, furries, all that kind of stuff, whatever you want to see, like, there's places on the web for that. You don't have to go onto a Discord to do that. I guess there are Discords to do that kind of stuff, where there's slightly more perverse stuff going on. I get it. It happens. So, like, whatever. What I'm going to say, though, is people are up in arms. Oh, Discord doing this, Discord doing that. Discord is just the first, or one of the bigger ones to do it. It is going to happen to pretty much everyone in pretty much every location. So it doesn't matter if you're in the United Kingdom, whether in the United States, whether you're in Australia. Australia obviously have taken a ban recently to under 16s for social media with limited success, but it's still a step in that direction, which I think inevitably, because there's going to be so many countries involved in it, it is going to be a thing which they're going to have to say either everyone does it or no one does it. And I've even noticed the Apple iOS 26.4 beta, which is going to be rolling out towards the beginning of March as a mainstream release, will have age verification for the App Store. So if you're using an application which potentially might have 18 plus content in it, you will no longer be able to use or install that application without verifying your age.
Why is it all like a nanny state? Why can't we decide for ourselves?
That is the thing.
I looked after my kids and didn't let them go on things they shouldn't go on.
It's because there are some people out there which are, well, there's various different types of, why do we need, like, yeah, that's a good question. Why do we need this nanny state approach? Quite simply, it's because there's a lot of people out there in this world who are complete assholes and will take advantage of other people. There's also some people out there who are probably
in charge of doing that. I'm in charge of controlling us.
There's a lot of people that are perhaps have some form of social, there's a gap in their social skills, or they are not as mature as their age would otherwise seem. I don't want to put a label on it because I think that's unfair to do so, but there are people in the world who, even though they are 18 or 21 or whatever age it is, mentally they're not prepared to be making the decisions that someone of that age can do. I hope you understand what I'm saying there without actually saying it, but there are people that are a certain level of naivety and can be led astray. And that is why, allegedly, that governments and governing bodies want to restrict access to certain places and enforce these rules. I think a lot of it comes down to the fact of, yes, they're trying to protect younger children, etc., etc. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. Maybe they're just doing a massive data gathering exercise. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. The reality is, with anything in these days, a lot of it started from America. When you got into the mid-80s, everybody was suing everybody. And it became a blame game. And soon after, in the mid to late 80s, what happens over there happens over here. So we got it, and immediately everything got more expensive because everybody started suing everybody. Because everybody wanted to place blame on someone else, or it's someone's fault. Putting someone in a place of blame is the ultimate goal. Because if anything goes wrong, someone has to answer for it. And that normally gets kicked down the can. So obviously governments don't want to be held responsible for children being exploited, allegedly, etc. So they enforce rules and regulations on companies because they don't have to do it themselves. They just tell other people to do it. So they get to say from their lofty towers, well, we implemented the legislation to stop this, so it's not our fault. It's down to the ISPs, or it's down to the server hosts, or it's down to the server owner, or it's down to basically someone else. So that is what it comes from. It's a blame game. Yes, there are other avenues of investigation, obviously the whole thing with Epstein, all that kind of stuff. All of it ties up. There's, elements of control. Do they want to scrape all of our data? Do they want to have a global database of everybody that uses the internet? Maybe they do. It's probably valuable. Who knows? The reality is, though, the biggest one is the blame game. Because if, for instance, somebody goes into a Discord, gets involved in a conversation, and they meet up with someone and it ends up in the newspapers as someone's been abducted, injured, murdered, whatever, insert terror story here, someone has to take the blame for that. And ultimately, the people that should be taking the blame for it, i.e. the people that govern our countries and should be setting out clear legislation and preventative measures against people doing that to other people, it's easier for them to say, right, it's all on you, because they have the power to do it. So that's my kind of thoughts on it. My thoughts are my thoughts. They may be based in some truths, they may be not based in some truths, but it's just what I know. Nobody knows the real story, and anybody who claims they do is lying, because that's way above all of our pay grades. even people like prime ministers and stuff, it's above their pay grades, let's be honest. They are just mouthpieces.
See, I've heard they're going to bring in ID on VPNs.
Yeah, VPNs also potentially may require IDs as well. So it's all trickling down. And again, other parts of the conversation, yes, I don't agree with it. I think we should all be left to do our own things, but there are people that will be taken advantage of, so I understand that point of view. Discord is the first, or one of the biggest ones, which have been taken notice, especially in our tech community. So obviously it's got a massive user base. They've had issues with, is it Palantir or whoever it was, Persona or whatever, who did the data breaches, etc. So yeah, it's a lot of bad things to happen at the wrong time. It's going to roll out to everywhere. So if you go to Twitch, Facebook, I guess Google Meets and places like that, essentially it's going to be everywhere. Eventually. It'll be in the legislation. It'll get to the point where it rolls out to ISPs, server hosts, companies, etc. And they all want to protect themselves. So they all want to adhere to what the governments are telling them to do, even if it's very difficult to implement. Anyway, I've waffled on for way too much already. Let's have a look and see what some of you are saying in the chat. I'm sure this is going to be an interesting one, and I'm sure that you're going to have some interesting thoughts about it. So where do I go back to? All right, Greg M says Discord has said age verification is delayed until later in 2026. I think that's a sensible solution. It was supposed to be in March, so I think it's a sensible solution to do that. They have said, and Apple have said this as well, that some elements of age verification will be coming from your previous history. So if, say for instance, on Discord, for instance, you've had or you've subscribed to the Nitro service and you've used a credit or debit card, obviously having a credit or debit card gives you some idea of your age, so they will validate it from there. Apple have said a similar thing, so based on your banking details, which obviously they've got because you've gone to the App Store or whatever at some point. Also, how long you've actually had your account for. So if you've had your Apple ID and you've used the same one for the last 16, 20 years, they know that you're clearly going to be over 18. So they will automatically pass you through the validation or verification process.
I don't think I got any banking details on my phone because I've never bought.
I have had our credit card attached to our iTunes account when I first got my iPhone because I wanted to buy like TomTom Maps or something. It wasn't that, but something along those lines. So I had to make a purchase through the App Store. So I have had it on there. But that was back in 2008?
2008.
2007 maybe? Yeah, 2008 I think it was. Roughly.
2008.
Yeah, 2008 on my iPhone 3GS. So yeah, they know that back in 2008 I had a credit card in my name on my phone. So yeah, in theory I should fly through that process straight away.
And then you've had that card on George's phone when he was only a kid.
Yeah, it might have done.
As well. If you set them all up on that account.
Thank you, good Greg. That's interesting to hear that. Aletta says I restrict myself from using Discord. That's fair enough. Jason says I heard Discord changed to the second quarter of 2026. Thank you, Jason. I think that might be right. Greg says I use Discord daily, but I do not go to adult-only servers. Yeah, that's basically what I'm kind of saying. For the majority of us, I loosely say our community, us. Why do you need 18 plus servers? It just seems like a little bit of a, I don't know, maybe 18 plus means something different to other people, but to me 18 plus means like pornography, like heavy gore, that sort of stuff.
Gambling. Gambling is an 18 plus thing, and some servers do.
That's true, yeah, gambling, so, yeah. But again, why would you go to a Discord for gambling? Like, yeah, if your business model's made on it, then fine. you have to take the hit. And if you lose the majority of your players because they don't want to do the ID thing, then yeah, it's going to be a thing. Ramad says, nowadays you have to identify yourself everywhere. In the Netherlands, this is already required when buying tobacco at a petrol station, regardless of age.
Well, that's disgusting, really.
We generally, here in the UK, if you appear to look 25 or under, the cashiers on the desks are within their rights to ask you to verify your age. I think they can to anybody, but if you look, there's I think they call it a safe scheme 25 or something, isn't it? There's a sticker on most places.
They've
but
kind of
if you look 25 or less.
Kids, haven't they? Because George used to have to show his passport to buy a Red Bull.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing?
Jason says there, a lot of servers are 18 plus, but that's why. Why are they 18 plus? That's what I fail to see the reasoning. Like, yeah, gambling, I guess, but like,
Crochet.
why would you have gambling?
Or
Yeah, why have gambling on a Discord? I guess it's a thing, clearly, but it depends on the gambling. Like, that's proper gambling. That's not like having a lucky dip type thing.
I don't know, you've got to be a certain age to do the lottery, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh, there's a putty cat.
There's two there as well.
I know.
Come on, Oogles. Come on, baby.
Senrab says, I only use the Mub Discord, but would it be because of purchases of Nitro purchases? Did I miss an earlier bit of that? Yeah, basically, if you've made Nitro purchases, then you should, in theory, be automatically enrolled into the 18 plus bit because they know how old you are because of your banking details. Des says there is a big fan bug with the MSI slow ramp up and down. They still have not fixed it. You'll have to tell me more about that. I have not heard about it. I'm not saying it's not a thing, but I don't know about it. Phil Stodd says parents need to stop giving their children electronic babysitter devices. Yeah, I do agree with that to some extent, but also I think the trouble is a lot of this as well is the onus has been put way too much on the adults in the equation. Like, I remember when I was under 18 and under 16, I was a twat. Honestly, I would set fire to shit whenever I could. I would break things. I would do things I wasn't supposed to do, like ride my bike through school and stuff when it's supposed to be all locked up and that. Ride
your bike through school as if that's the worst thing you've done.
Well, I was chased by a policeman at the time. Yeah, I did some daft stuff when I was young, but having some sort of age verification for me not doing dumb shit would not have been a different thing. And like, you could say, oh, it's your parents. Well, your parents can't be watching you 24/7. They have to give you a little bit of leeway to make your own mistakes in life. So again, going back to what Kath said about kind of, we should really be self-governing as much as we possibly can. We don't necessarily need this kind of nanny state to hold our hands and tell us when we can go and take a piss or not.
If you prolong it till they're 18, then they're just going to go off the rails when they're 18.
Yeah.
If you keep them locked in as kids.
Yeah. If you restrict people up to 18, and then as soon as they're 18, say, no, there you go, then they just go off the rails.
And their maturity isn't high enough. Like, Angel's been wandering the streets since she was 6, and she is so streetwise, isn't she? And such a lovely person now. Whereas George, being more at home because he wasn't really safe to be out on the streets playing.
Yeah, Dave says there, I'm not sure I agree. Lots of Discords discussing gambling and trading. It's a very good setup for sharing live updates and trackers. Gambling is ultimately 18 plus, so the Discord should be. I think for the gambling side of it, yeah. For the trading side of it, I would say probably not. Because for the trading side of it, realistically, you can't be a trader unless you're 18 anyway. So it's a given that you're going to be 18. So I don't think you need to specifically say, right, kids aren't allowed in here. because, again, if someone under the age of 18 has gone and stolen their parents' credit card and gone onto some trading site and done a load of trades and wasted a load of money, like, how is that, like, if they can get around the fact that they've stolen their parents' cards and got their card details and managed to register for somewhere to actually do the trading and stuff, they've got past all those things, bypass that easy enough. How is an age restriction on Discord going to be any different? They will just circumvent it some way, shape or form, as they did with the 16 age group in Australia. They were basically getting pictures of movie stars and scanning their faces and gaining full access. So again, it's a pointless thing. It cannot be enforced effectively. The only people it actually punishes are basically law-abiding people. Criminals aren't going to use it, obviously, because they're criminals. Kids aren't going to use it because, well, they can't. So the only people that are going to use it are actual adults with proper ID, and we're the ones who are going to likely have our details all bloody plastered across the dark web because some shithead at one of these dipshit companies has left the fucking server open. Sorry, getting a little angry. Calm down, have a drink. I can't, it's too hot. But do you know what I mean? Like, it's always the honest people that get screwed over by these, like, great ideas.
Same as, like, the innocent motorists.
Yeah. It's bullshit.
They don't want to put the work in to do proper criminals.
Sorry, but it does, it just, yeah, it blows my mind. Like, for gun laws in America, like, gun laws in America basically screw over the genuine people that actually want to buy a gun to hunt, protect themselves, or whatever.
Just as a
Like,
safety net.
a criminal doesn't worry about a gun check or getting the appropriate paperwork to own a gun because they're a fucking criminal. That's their job, to not go by the law. Now, you could argue that a law-abiding person can become a criminal, and also a criminal can become a law-abiding person, but they're quite rare things. So, again, all of these restrictive laws are basically to screw over the people that are actually doing it right. It just makes no sense at all. Crypto says, I've seen kids trading crypto and made thousands. Yeah, no doubt they've lost thousands as well. But yeah, I get it's gambling. Gambling is a gamble. Crossing the street is a gamble. I agree, Rasher, but I'm not going to show that in the chat. Remad says, too many things are considered normal that would have given you a slap on the ass 30 years ago. Yeah, I think so. Greg says, visions of Mike on his penny farthing being chased by a Keystone cop through the playground. It's a funny story, actually, that one. I was on my BMX, which was a red rally burner, which I'd customised quite heavily. So I'd have been about 15, probably 15 at the time, I think. There was a local bobby called PC Cop. And this would have been probably about 88, 89 maybe. And at that time, there was a big thing going about kids not having bikes with lights on at night. And I was a kid. I didn't really need lights on my bike. It was a BMX. I was doing tricks. I don't want lights getting in my way of doing my tricks. I don't want things weighing me down. I'm soaring for the sky. Don't want to be laying down all those double D batteries and stuff. So I did have a set of Wonder Vision lights. They were amazing. Some of you may remember those.
Not on your bike.
Wonder lights, sorry. Wonder lights. They were awesome.
But not on your
Yeah, never used them on the bike. So I was going down the road. Wesley Road is called by our school. And next thing I know, I could hear, "Oi, stop!" And I look round and there's PC Cop on his bike. And I'm thinking, well, I'm on my bike, he's on his bike. His is more like a penny farthing. I'm on a BMX. I know this. I got no lights. I know the school layout like the back of my hand. I can go through there in pitch black and still be absolutely fine. So I thought, right, let's go. So went into the school and rode around there, gave him the chase.
That's before stranger danger. They didn't
Yeah.
have the schools then.
Managed to evade capture, And he was going around, he had his like this flashlight looking all around the playground area and all that. I hid by the library, the last place they're going to look for me. So I was in a place of higher learning, whereas he was looking in the wrong place altogether. So I managed to outrun the police, which I was very pleased about, and tell the story.
That's a sixth form now.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. So yeah, that was an interesting one. But again, it was supposed to be like if you had your bike, you had to have lights on it. Now, I'm still here. I've still not broken any bones. Obviously, I made it through. Now, obviously, not everyone's going to be as lucky, and it is a personal safety thing. But the thing is, if you're relatively streetwise and don't take risks, and you ride your bike predominantly on the pavement or in schools, then did you need lights on your bike?
And also,
No.
you were only 16 when you moved out for starters,
Yeah.
so like you could live alone, but you're not allowed to look at things on the internet.
Yeah.
As another example of silliness.
Phil Stodd says, I was really unlucky because my mum and dad split up when I was extremely young, and I didn't really have a father figure in my life. So I think that's probably when I went off the rails, because I was just seeing how far I could push things, as kids do. And but my mum had loads of brothers. So whenever I got into shit, it was always, she'd beat me with a wooden spoon. Damn that wooden spoon. When she'd finished, the brothers would come round and visit, and they'd all give me a talking to. It was like, oh, for God's sake. That really put me off doing stupid shit. Well, it didn't put me off doing stupid shit. It put me off getting caught doing stupid shit. I just read there. Phil Stodd says, when I was a kid, if I did something bad, I would get a beating on the spot. And the worst beating from my parents when I got home. But that was the 60s society. Yeah. Dave says, it slows down though. A 14 to 15-year-old will go out of their way to get past blockers. They will always find a way. A 10-year-old won't be as switched on and less likely to see stuff that's damaging. Yeah, I guess there is going to be elements to that. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. Hey Nimrod, checking in from Cub Camp. How you doing? Greg says, Annie is here tonight, Mike. What was that? What did I do? Oh, I am here. I am here. Hi. Sinister Chef says, I can't wait. This time tomorrow, I'll be in Vegas for a week, spending time with my lovely other half. First time in around 4 years, we will see each other. Oh, that's lovely. Awesome. Hope you have a really nice time. Las Vegas as well. Nice. Phil Stoll says, survival of the fittest. Darwin calls it natural selection. That's true. Phil Stoll says, mum's wooden spoons broke. My mum used the Teflon spoons. Yeah, my mum did upgrade eventually to metal ones. Crypto says, my nan used to curve that slipper around the door frame as I was running away. Oh dear. Jason says, oh, I remember the wooden spoons. Yeah, like... Errol Portier says, if you give your child a corrective slap now, there's a good chance they will be taken away by youth care. Yes. Oh, Greg says, the cop that chased you is here tonight. No, he's dead.
I don't know if he's dead.
The PC cop. He was involved in, I'm pretty sure...
No, we better not say that. Please. We better not. We can't say any of that.
I think he might have been involved in a scandal. COPP is his name spelled. If you want to look it up.
We can't find it.
Gary says, love the NAS cleaning video. Now I have to do mine. Yeah, I've really enjoyed doing that. That was it turned into a lot longer video than I expected, and a lot bigger project as well. But actually it was quite easy to do. I was expecting it to be an absolute nightmare and to have like screws left over and for things not to work, which I probably shouldn't have done with my main NAS. It was a little bit risky, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. And hopefully everyone else will as well. David says, my mum threatened me and my siblings we would end up in the compost heap with her other kids. Oh dear, excellent. Okay. Well, it seems that not many of you are... More of you are liking the wooden spoons or reminiscing about the wooden spoons than concerns with the age verification. Again, I think personally it's been very much blown out of context for the very, very few amount of channels which actually do require an 18 plus authorization to access content. Yeah, it's not a big deal. I think it's like TV. On TV, if you wanted to get like adult channels on your TV, I'm sure there was some sort of PIN code or something that they'd be protective with, or
so how
whatever.
Does it work on TV?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, that is the thing. Like I said this previously, that if you take the
TV has got to be.
If you take if you take 18 plus content, so if you have to have government ID or show ID to watch 18 plus content on a television, how do you enforce that for a television, which is arguably a lot more damaging?
Do they still have the watershed or whatever it's called?
I don't know.
Because how do they know people aren't going to bed at 7 like they should?
Age verification is a precursor for digital ID.
They don't need digital ID, they've got
the thing is, they've basically got it. If you take a combination of the biometrics and data that you've got pretty much on, like spread out across all of your devices, like if you live in the UK, you've probably got a passport, a bank card, a driver's license, a credit card possibly, national insurance, your supermarket facial ID, your supermarket points. So add into that your computer, your laptop, your phone, your Google searches, all of the stuff put together. They've got a pretty good idea of who you are and what you are. I think.
And what you do.
Yeah, they know more about you than probably your spouse.
Or you know yourself.
Yeah. John David Sullivan says, Mike, I'm a bit confused between the View 380 XL TG and WS. Is WS the wood version? Yes, it is, yeah. Yeah, the white shit. What is the difference between the XL and the TG? They are the same, yeah. Officially, the name is the View 380 XL TG ARGB WS. So TG stands for tempered glass. They've all got the tempered glass. The WS is the only thing which really changes. That's either the wood or not. So non-WS is normal. WS version will be wood. The ARGB means it's got ARGB fans. And the XL obviously denotes the size difference between the standard 380 and the larger version. Does that make sense? It made sense to me when I said it. That may not necessarily mean it makes sense to you. Dave Aiken says, nobody wants tracking until something goes wrong, and we all say, why didn't we catch them sooner? I have many issues with it, but there are major issues with chat rooms and dangerous content. Yeah, there is. There isn't a perfect solution. And the problem is such a wide and diverse thing that there isn't an ideal way. I suppose the only real true way you could do it, which would be really hard to implement, would be either an iris or fingerprint scan, which somehow is done locally. But it's,
you'd have your fingers cut off by people to use your fingerprint.
Yeah, criminals just chop off your fingers or pull out your eyes. So even Loki did it in Avengers. And that was back in what, 2008? I don't know. It's yeah, I'm sure we've seen it on like Mission Impossible or that kind of thing, or any kind of sci-fi movie where they take out someone's eye or steal a thumb or hand, steal a handprint or whatever. It's happened. Yeah, it happens a lot, doesn't it? So yeah, and the thing is, like, what is to stop now? Because you think about it. Now, I'm not saying to do this, but this is a kind of a what if example. So there's loads of dodgy fake IDs around, especially here in Bristol, loads of them. So what's to stop you getting a fake driver's license and just letting them scan that? Because the theory is they don't have access to the DVLA or whatever to actually verify the details. All they're looking for is basically a government thing, or a thing that looks like a government ID, so they can say they've done their job. Whether or not they go and do the background checks, I have no idea.
But who gives them
I'm guessing they can.
Do a lot of all that anyway.
Yeah.
Surely that should be confidential in itself.
You'd think so. So why just use a fake ID? How are they going to know? I'm sure there must be something, but then if they have got the ability then to take your ID and match it up with genuine details somehow, by their banks, inland revenue, possibly government ID, driver's license, etc. Like, surely having access to that amount of data is terrifying, and nobody should have that. So I would argue it's less dangerous, or less harm can come from it.
The less data they have.
Yeah, the less data they have, the better it is going to be. Yes, there are going to be those edge case scenarios where possibly minors may become, they may have to see things which they're not ready to see. The thing is, if you look at it like from a certain point of view, like, how many people as a kid found the porno mag in the bushes in the park and looked at it? Pretty much most boys did, I think, and probably a lot of girls did as well.
I didn't.
It was just... Oh, thanks, Kath. Thanks for reinforcing my story. Always there to support me. I'm surprised I got a bad back.
I didn't. Which park are you?
Any park. But, you know...
You told me you saw actual real people doing it in Vassals.
I did. Yeah, I went through Vassals Park one night, a little bit stoned, to be honest. Thought, what the hell's that up against a tree? And walked closer and closer and realised there's some bloke giving his missus right seeing to. I was like, ooh, walk away the other way. But yeah, where was I going at? Yeah, the thing is, you see things as a kid. I know for a fact I've seen porno movies before I was 16 or 18, 100%. And I think the majority of school kids did. Now, has that affected me psychologically? Probably. I've got a YouTube channel and I have depression. So yes, maybe. But I don't think so. And I think a lot of people are in a similar situation. Having age verification for adult movies would have made, well, that was a thing back then. But they still got distributed. So what I'm saying is, no matter what you do, there will be a way around it. As soon as a security measure comes out, there's always a countermeasure. Why bother? Or just make it easier. Make it like you have to ask a question, like a series of questions, like 10 questions about life in over the years. And if you can't answer the questions, you don't get in.
But you think of all the questions they ask people to become, I don't know, what is it?
No, if they said like,
something like that,
you're 20, if they said like, okay, are you 18? Okay, in the last 18 years, such and such has happened. Answer these 5 questions.
You can't remember what happened yesterday. So
yeah, I know, but 18 years is, if you say 18 years, if you're asked to maybe remember things in the last 10 years, it's not a stretch, is it?
I'll text you on this tomorrow.
I don't know. Kung Po King Prawn. Yes, boy. Yeah. Brahma says, look at Windows 11 account requirements. Within a few days, there was something to bypass it. Exactly.
But then how many people's YouTube videos were taken down and banned? So they can stop anything they don't want you to see. Yeah, they've already got the ability. Like, you look at when COVID kicked off. Now, I know this is going to be very political, but I'm going to say it anyway. When COVID kicked off, there were so many videos out there
saying, oh, it's all a big hoax or whatever. You don't need to take that. It's the jab's bad, whatever. Videos were taken down absolutely wholesale within minutes of being uploaded.
Banned.
People banned, terminated from platforms, etc. So if they can do it that quick for that, why can't they do it for this?
And also, they've now reinstated all these accounts only recently. They've all come back, haven't they?
Yeah.
And they didn't even ask them to come back. They just got put live again.
Oh dear. Crypto says Palantir has their finger in every pie. Pre-crime will be happening sooner than you think. Cool Cat says I found the same porno mag. It was a bit soiled when it got to me. Yeah, that wasn't mud. Yeah, Rama says there, whatever they implement, there will always be a workaround. There totally will. It's inevitable. It's just, it's a real shame that the people that they're trying to protect are likely to be the ones that are going to be using the circumventions to get around it. And it'll be us, the ones basically stuck in the middle, doing it all legit, or losing out. So maybe leaving certain groups because you don't want to do it. Yeah, it's just a bad thing all around, I think. Sorry, I had a notification. See if that's anything extremely important. No, it doesn't appear to be. Anyway, I think I've probably exhausted tonight's conversation, and my throat is absolutely killing me. Yeah, if I get banned, you know why.
Because they can censor everything.
Yeah. But I think it's a good thing that we do discuss this openly. I think it does need discussion. Like anything in life, as soon as they start clamping down and preventing free speech, like free speech, you don't have to necessarily agree with what people say. You don't have to like what they say.
It's just their opinion.
You can be diametrically opposed to what people say, but people have the right.
Differs from my opinion, but
if it's your opinion,
and you should be allowed to say your opinion, even though I don't agree.
Like I could say the moon's made of cheese. Like the chances.
It isn't.
No, it's unlikely. The cats all look really disappointed with that. The chances of it actually being made of cheese are very, very slim. But if it's my opinion and I wholeheartedly believe it, then why should I not have the right to express that view? Like, yeah, you might say that I'm mad, loony, whatever. That's your opinion. That's the way life should be. You should be able to say whatever you want about whoever you want, as long as it's not inciting violence or going to cause actual bodily harm, then you should be able to say things, I think, personally. But Dave Aiken says, the top level issue for me is who stores and tracks the data. Yeah. The government know everything about me already. Do I trust a startup to safely guarantee all cybersecurity? I'd like to reduce who has my data. I agree entirely. And I think it would actually be better if the government did it themselves. I don't trust the government. And I definitely don't trust government employees. 100%. They are one of the easiest targets for any kind of hackers or anything to infiltrate or even become a government employee.
But the government's only another corporation.
Yeah. But they are the top level, aren't they? They're effectively the top level. The buck stops with the government, effectively, and it all comes down from them, doesn't it?
Nothing happens to them when they do wrong.
No, but in terms of the hierarchy of the country, in theory.
In theory.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais, just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. That's right. Remad says, as long as someone can prove otherwise, the moon can be made of cheese. Exactly. Greg says, President Trump says things and look where that's got us. It's fine as long as the person saying it has some intelligence. We've got the same here with our employees, our Prime Minister, and basically anybody in the government.
Every country's the same, isn't it?
Sometimes they say things and you, like, as you get older, you realise it more and more that, like, when politicians speak, you think, like, do they actually realise what they're actually saying?
No, because they're just reading it, aren't they?
And you know what it's like? I see this all the time. You can tell, especially on like YouTube or TV or anything, that if something's been written for them to say. Because when you write something down on paper, it never sounds the same when you say it.
You can tell it when YouTube YouTubers do it.
Yeah, there's like pacing issues or whatever. So you can tell, and a lot of things like they just don't word well, and you can tell when people are saying it, especially politicians. They just like reading off an auto cue or whatever. And it's like no one's actually said this out loud, have they? And you can tell because some things just don't flow very well until you say them out loud. Like if you ever have to do any public speaking, if you write a speech, always read it out loud, or get someone else to read it out loud, and you'll see the problems with it. David Underhill says, yes, as I said before, Yes, Prime Minister is a documentary, not a comedy show. Totally.
But you can't really criminalise fake news because how do you know it's fake news? Or how do you know it's not being classed as fake news when it's true?
You can't criminalise fake news because there are...
You're only going on their opinions.
There's a few times when fake news becomes real.
And they censor a lot of stuff that is true. Calling it.
It's very difficult. Anyway, my throat is basically on fire now, so I'm gonna have to stop speaking. Massive shout out to everyone who's contributed tonight, and again, it's a very interesting topic. If you want to continue discussing it on our Discord, you're more than welcome to do so. We'd be very happy to have you in our non-18 plus rooms. So mind your P's and Q's and your images, Russia. have to call them out there. Yeah, it's an interesting time. It'll be interesting to see how this all pans out. Hopefully it's going to pan out for the better. But yeah, I think a few cogs have got to be turned first. And I think the more opposition or the more vocal we are against it, where it makes sense, I think is going to help. Because like Microsoft have turned around a little bit and are kind of starting to pull back a little bit on some of the AI stuff built into apps, or at least giving you the option to not have it in there. So yeah, I think if you make enough noise, eventually people will start listening, but it's all part of a process. So yes, please do feel free to join our non-X-rated Discord.
Let him come back to Discord just to get in trouble.
Yay! Yeah, thank you all so much. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. And Sinister Chef, enjoy your well-earned break.
And it's his birthday today.
And happy birthday as well. 21 again, no doubt. Again, thanks to all this kind support. Thanks to everybody for the super twats, the continued membership, the super twats. We've got super twats. Yeah, thank you for your Patreon memberships, your YouTube memberships, your kind donations, your help in the Discord itself, all that kind of stuff. Thank you all. It's massively appreciated. But it has come time for me to say goodnight. So thank you all for watching. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. And hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. And we'll see you on Monday with a fresh new video.
If I remember to...
If Kath remembers to schedule it. Thanks everybody. See you next week. Or, yeah, see you next month. Bye.